Hello po. Ma'am Neris, naririnig po ako? Yes? Okay, sige. Kita lang ako. Nakikita po ako? Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, SDO Pampanga. Happy Monday, everyone. So welcome to the Division Management Committee meeting of August 2020. We are live here at Google Meet and live streaming din po tayo sa Facebook Live and YouTube Live. I hope everyone had a hearty lunch dahil time check po is 1:06 p.m. and everyone is also in great condition. Dapat busog-lusog po tayong lahat at gising na gising. We are so excited na ibahagi po sa inyo ang mga announcements po namin here at SDO Pampanga para mas updated tayo lalo na may big changes sa ating kagawaran ng edukasyon. So please, reminder lamang po, mute your mic and turn off your camera for a smooth connection and meeting dito po sa Google Meet and of course sa live streaming po natin sa Facebook and sa YouTube. To put everything in order, let us have an invocation.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang mag-ibig, Diyos ang sinagalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang binirang, tuyang ka ng mag-ibig, sa manlulubig, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagat tutok sa simoy at sa langit ang pagkaw, ay hinatang tulang awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang islang atawad mo'y natuloy na nagtitindig, ang pituloy na parang niya kailan, ang kanyang nagtitindig. Lumang ang araw ng waragit pagsingkang, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang bigaya ng kay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Mahunding pantasan
Hug me now under your wings. Cover me within your mighty wings. When the oceans rise and thunders roar, I will soar with you above the storm. Father, you are king over the flood. I will be still, know you are God. For as my soul in Christ alone, know His more quietness and trust. When the oceans rise and thunders roar, I will soar with you above the storm. Father, you are king over the flood, and I will be still and know you are God. I will be still and know you are God. I will be still and know you are God.
Okay, all is set. Muli, good afternoon and welcome po sa ating Division Management Committee meeting. Warm greetings din po and virtual hello sa lahat po ng mga participants and viewers po natin. Of course, greeting din po para sa ating or mula sa ating hello and welcome sa ating beloved and dynamic at pinalakas na tandem, ang Tres Marias Leaders, of course, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent po natin, Dr. Zenia G. Mostoles, And welcome din po, ito po, ang pinakabago, fresh na fresh, at ang Assistant Schools Division Superintendent po natin. Una po, syempre, woman empowered din po, Dr. Shirley B. Sipagan. Mula po siya sa Division City of San Fernando. And of course, ang pinaka-competent na Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, welcome din po dito sa Division of Pampanga, Dr. Melissa S. Sanchez. So, of course, warm greetings din po sa lahat ng mga participants and viewers po dito sa Google Meet, sa Facebook Live, and YouTube Live po. Virtual hello din po sa ating SGOD Chief, Dr. Arcely S. Lopez, sa ating CID Chief, Dr. Celio Lacanlale, sa lahat po ng mga Chief Unit Heads ng OSTS, of course headed by Ma'am JB Manalang, ang ating mga PSDSS, Sectoral Managers, PESPA at PASPA. And of course, welcome din po sa ating mga public and private elementary and secondary school heads. Ito po, feel free to ask questions po and course through your PSDSS po para po maitanong po natin sa mga authorized personnel po dito sa SDO Pampanga. Okay. So ang ating agenda, this MANCOM will last for 4 hours po. Mga updates po, ibibigay po sa atin. Una po ng OSTS from supply, budget, accountant, and administrative officers. And then from SGOD, the CID, ASDSS, and of course, the preparation of classes on October 5 from our dearly beloved STS. Hindi ko na po papatagalin pa. Mag-umpisa na po tayo. For the update from the supply unit section, ihahatid po sa atin yan ng Administrative Officer 4, si Ma'am Sharon Katanghal, ang ating supply unit head. Virtual clap po para kay Ma'am Sharon.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Ate Sha, loud and clear. Good afternoon po, Ate Sha.
Good afternoon, Mars. Loud and clear.
Regarding po sa property and supply concern, dalawa pong division memorandum ang lumabas. Yung una po, yung pong division memorandum number 220 series of 2020. Yun po yung PhilJEPS advisory number 2020-028. Yung pong submission of the 2021 annual procurement plan for common use supplies and equipment, or yung pong APPCSC. Stating po that all government agencies are advised to submit their 2021 annual procurement plan for commonly used supplies and equipment to the procurement service of the Department of Budget and Management via virtual store po yan facility. Ang deadline po, pakinote lang po, is on December 15, 2020. Okay po. Then yung pong pangalawa, yung pong Division Memorandum number 234 series of 2020, yung pong schedule natin ng disinfection and deodorization of division office facilities. SDO Pampanga announces the dates of disinfection and deodorization activity. As such po, the office will be closed on the following dates. Yan po yung August 28, September 25, October 30, November 27, and December 18, 2020 po. Okay po, yun lang po yung sa property and supply unit concern. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you so much po, Ma'am Sharon. Okay. Ang next po nating update ay mula naman po sa ating budget officer po. Ayan, walang iba kundi si Ma'am Remedios, Ma'am Remy Bacani para sa mga announcement po from the budget unit. So go ahead, Ma'am Remy.
Hello po, good afternoon. Good afternoon po sa ating lahat. Hi.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ate Rem.
Ma'am, clear ya po, ma'am?
Ma'am Sel.
Yes po.
Apo,
Po siya.
clear po siya, ma'am. Okay po. Ang
Clear
topic
po.
Yes, ma'am.
Loud and clear po, loud and clear.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ang topic ko po ngayon, ma'am, yung sa front-loading of loyalty award po. Pwede pong paki-flash po yung ano, yan. Ano po ba yung mga legal basis po natin? Legal basis po natin, yung CSC Memorandum Circular Number 6, 2002, DepEd Order Number 55, 2003, and DepEd Order 54, Series 2015. Pag front-loading po ang ginamit namin kasi ang loyalty po, hindi po siya kasama po sa GAA po natin. Wala po siya sa naka-allocate po na budget for payment of ano po, mga benefits po natin. So, front load po, kung ano po yung available na allotment po natin at saka cash po ni accountant, binabayaran po natin kahit wala pa po siya sa ano po natin, wala po siya sa budget natin. So, sino po bang mga entitled po dito? Loyalty award is granted to all officials and employees in the national and local governments, including those in the SUCs and GOOC with original charter, who rendered 10 years of continuous service and 5 years thereafter, and with satisfactory service in the government. Ano po ba itong mga requirements na to? Please take note po, yung continuous service po, at saka po yung satisfactory service in the government. Next slide po. Number 2, the particular agency where the employee or official completed the 10 years of continuous and satisfactory service shall grant the award. Sino po ba itong mga to? Ito po yung mga transferees po natin from other government agencies po or sa other division offices po. Kung sa atin po siya makakakompleto po ng 10 years or 5 years, ang division office po ang magbabayad po sa kanila po. Provided po dapat meron pong certification from the other agencies po kung saan po galing yung teacher po natin or non-teaching personnel na hindi po siya nabayaran sa agency po na galing po siya. Dapat government din po, hindi po private. Ano po? Then number 3, an official or employee who incurred an aggregate of not more than 50 days of authorized vacation leave without pay within the 10-year period, which shall be considered as having rendered continuous service for the purpose of granting the loyalty award. Please take note po, ang sinabi po dito, yung pong vacation leave without pay. At saka hindi po dapat more than 50 days. Kung more than 50 days po siya, hindi na po siya entitled ng loyalty pay. At kung sick leave naman po yung, nakasick leave po yung teacher, maski na 50 days up po siya, entitled pa rin po siya kasi ang nasa ruling naman po, yung vacation leave without pay naman po. Then in the same way, an official or employee who incurred an aggregate of not more than 25 days of authorized vacation leave without pay within the 5-year period may qualify for the 5-year milestone loyalty award. So kung sa 5-year naman po, dapat hindi po siya nag-incur ng 25 days or more. Otherwise, hindi po siya entitled ng loyalty award. Magkano po bang makukuha po ng teacher, ng teaching personnel? So for the initial 10 years po, 10,000 po siya, and 5 years thereafter, 5,000. So ang kada year po niya is 1,000 per year. Kanina po, nagtanong po si HR po natin, si Sir Dexter, kung meron daw pong isang retiree or nag-retire na po siya, kung hindi raw po ba pro-rata ang loyalty. Ang loyalty po, hindi po siya pro-rata, para po siyang mid-year bonus, it's all or nothing po siya. Kung inabutan pa po ng, let's say, nag-retire ka ng June, tapos supposed to be maglo-loyalty ka ng July, hindi ka na po entitled nun kasi nakapag-retire ka na, hindi ka na po umabot dun sa original ng appointment po ninyo. Then ano po bang year ang covered po ng loyalty payment po? Ito po yung mga yung original appointment po nila, ang year po is mag-e-end po ng 0 and 5. Yung pong hindi nabayaran last year, alam ko meron pong mga ilan-ilan, pwede naman po namin ding bayaran kasi nagkulang po ang savings po natin for payment po ng loyalty award. Tapos po, ano pa? May question po kayo? Bago po punta tayo dun sa next reminder lang po sa mga fiscal autonomous. So, kung wala po, next slide po. Ano po to? Reminder lang po sa mga fiscal autonomous. Deadlines po sa encoding of reports in the Google link po ng regional office. So, sa flash report po, every 5th day of the following month. Then, the monitoring of payments of salaries and other payment po and others. Bali, ang pag-encode po dito yung after the payment has been made po. Let's say kung nagsweldo po tayo ng August 19, pwede na po kayong mag-encode ng August 19 same day para hindi po natin nakakalimutan. Then, doon po sa financial accountability reports in the Unified Reporting System of the Department of Budget and Management. Ang deadline po dito is 5th day of the month following the quarter. Tapos po, it should be up to submitted status po. Please take note po dun sa mga paki-inform na lang po yung mga bookkeepers po natin. Yung 30th day po of the month following the quarter, hindi po natin deadline yon. Ang may deadline po doon yung central office. So, paki-remind na lang po para pag nagre-request tayo po ng pondo, mabilis din pong mag-reply po ang DDM. So, yun lang po. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, maraming salamat
Pabilis
po,
na.
Ma'am Rene Bacani, ang ating budget officer dito sa STO Pampanga. Meron lamang pong tanong po si Sir Derek po regarding sa DO po ba daw, kanino ba dapat mag-request o mag-submit ng requirements as loyalty po?
Yes, ma'am. Sana naririnig po ni accountant at saka ni Sir Dexter. Dapat kung yung sa DO po, yung division personnel, sa HR na po mismo manggaling po yung yung mga documents, tapos forward po sa accounting for pre-audit, tapos budget, then accounting po. Okay po. Sir Erwin and Sir Dexter, sana okay lang po ba yun? Hello? Hello po, Ma'am Nicole. Nasagot po ba yung tanong?
Okay po, hello po. Yan po, kung may itanong po kayo as we go on through the PowerPoint presentations po ng bawat updates po ng mga units and divisions po, pwede po nating i-course through po sa ating mga PSPSS. And our dearly beloved PSDSS po, naway i-course through din po natin dito sa chat. So kung wala na pong tanong regarding po sa mga announcement po ng ating budget officer, ayan, maraming salamat po, Ma'am Remy Bacan. Of course, dire-diretso na po tayo para po sa updates po from our accounting section. Let's have here our SDO Pampanga accountant, Sir Erwin Cruz.
Hello po, good afternoon. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon po, Sir Erwin.
Good
Okay po.
afternoon, Sir Erwin.
Hindi lang ako yung sound. Hello?
Yes po, Sir Erwin.
Yes po. Going po on our first slide. For the accounting updates. So yung sa accounting po, the resumption of the opening of current account for school MOE. So yan po yung topic natin for today. Next slide po. So just to recall po, last October 17, 2019, nag-release po ang Central Office ng DepEd Order number 29 Series 2019, yung pong procedural guidelines on the management of cash advances for school maintenance and other operating expenses and program funds of non-implementing units pursuant to COA DBM DepEd Joint Circular 2019-1. So ito pong DepEd order na to, lumabas siya October 17 and then by November po, nag-training po kaming mga personnel po dito sa DO kasama yung cashier on the opening, on paano po yung process. And then, next slide po, December 4, 2019, naglabas naman po tayo ng Division Memorandum, the DO Memorandum 794 Series 2019, on the opening of bank accounts for school maintenance and other operating expenses. So, basically, yung pinagawa po namin sa inyo dito is yung pagsasubmit sa amin ng request letter to open bank accounts. And then, yung pong BTR po natin ng mga forms, yung BTR Form 1, 2, and 3. So, lahat po, nasubmit naman na to. And then, we forwarded this one po sa Bureau of Treasury, yung mga forms na sinubmit po ninyo. January, February, yun po yung naging timeline natin po dito for the submission and approval from the Bureau of Treasury. And then, next slide po. Pero dahil po nagka-quarantine po due to COVID, naglabas po yung Central Office ulit ng memorandum, the Memorandum OUF 2020-0093, yung pong moratorium on the filing of application for the opening of bank accounts for non-implementing units pursuant to COA DBM Joint Circular 2019-1. So, ni-stop muna po natin yung sa opening kasi March po sana dapat talaga is magpo-proceed na po tayo. We're just negotiating lang po sa Land Bank yung scheduling. And then next slide po, last July. So actually it's June 9. So naglabas po ulit yung Central Office ng memorandum. Ito na po yung lifting of the moratorium on the filing of application for the opening of bank accounts for non-implementing units. So next slide po. So ito po yung nakalagay. All regional directors and schools division superintendents are therefore instructed to advise the school heads of non-implementing schools under their jurisdiction who have not opened yet their respective accounts to proceed with its opening in accordance with the said DO number. So ito po, please remind them to at all times adhere and comply with the minimum health standards protocol of the IATF. So currently po, last time advice po kami sa mga schools natin na mag-submit po nung Annex F Annex F na document wherein yun po yung magiging endorsement po ng division office na dadalhin po ni school head pag pumunta po siya sa land bank to open the account. So kasama po nun, dapat dala nyo rin po yung request or the authorization to open the account, and then yung pong BTR Form 1, 2, and 3. And then yung Annex G na separate file din na binigay namin, dadalhin nyo na rin, yun naman po is gagamitin pag na-open na yung account. Hopefully, sana magawa po ng same day yung opening kasi pag nagawa po siyang same day, yung pong Annex G, yun naman po yung yung ino-authorize po natin yung land bank to auto-sweep po yung interest income na ma-earn po nung account. So pag ibig sabihin po, pag may interest income siya, automatic po, i-deposit na ng land bank po yun sa treasury. So, pero makikredit po siya, makikita nyo siya magre-reflect sa account. And then, after 2 to 3 days po, ikukunin din po na madedebit siya ulit. Ibig sabihin, napunta na po siya sa treasury po. And then, yun nga po, as of now, nandun po tayo dun sa submission ng Annex F, so yung pong endorsement. And then after po nun, currently din po kasi, we are arranging the schedule to your respective land bank branches po sa mga managers. Halos ang kausap, actually may final na po kami for yung mag-o-open sa Angeles and sa Guagua. So, ang instruction po nila, 3 school heads lang po per day. And then, mag-online application po para mas mabilis daw. So, yung pong sa online application, ituturo din po namin kung paano po yun. And then, pag okay na po talaga, kasi we are also still negotiating yung para po sana kung pwede tayong bigyan ng separate line po for that para hindi po pipila ng matagal po yung mga school heads po natin. So pag naayos na po lahat yon, pati po yung schedule na ibibigay namin, we will formally release po yung memo para po maging that will serve as the travel order na rin po ni school heads po pag mag-open po ng account. So yung pong babayaran nyo po doon, yung pong initial maintaining balance na 500 and yung pong initial checks po and passbook. So yun po is lahat chargeable po sa MOE. And for the accounting, so yun lang po for us. And so if there are any queries po, you can PM or text me, or for others po, yung may email po kami, yung accountingpampanga@teped.gov.ph. So pwede nyo pong isend yung mga queries nyo po doon so that we can answer po. So yun lang po for the accounting. Thank you very much po.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much po, Sir Erwin Cruz, ang ating accountant from STO Pampanga for the updates and announcements. And yun nga po, kung meron po tayong queries sa kanya, ay text po natin siya. And then, Sir Jason said po sa ating Gmail na kung sino daw po yung nasa Gmeet, tayo po ang mga STO proper personnel. And then, nakastream daw po Sir Randy sa ating FB group, ang mga private schools po natin. So, greetings po sa inyo, sa lahat po ng mga kasamahan po natin sa private schools po. And of course, from our Private Schools Association of Pampanga. Welcome and happy viewing po sa ating live streaming. Next po, ang more announcements and updates from our beautiful Administrative Officer 5, walang iba kundi si Ma'am JD D. Manala.
Thank you, Neris. A pleasant afternoon po to everyone.
Pleasant afternoon po, Ma'am JD.
So this afternoon po, I will be sharing with you po the AO concerns. And to start with po, this will be just a brief reiteration of the 2 division memoranda that we have issued po, the DM number 152 series of 2020, and the other one is the DM number 194 series of 2020. So the first one po, yung 152, this is the official schedule for the transactions and other concerns in the records section. So dito po nakalagay yung schedule ng bawat district or municipality po natin, no, kung kailan po sila pwedeng makipag-transact sa office. So especially nowadays po, no, nag-i-increase po yung COVID cases po natin. So the division office is reiterating this memorandum na strictly po sana mag-adhere po tayo dun sa given schedules po natin. Like for Monday, yung cluster po na ito yung pwedeng ma-accommodate sa division, the Arayat East, West, Bacolor North and South, Candaba North and West, and the Porac West. For Tuesday naman po, Florida Blanca East and West, Guagua West East and West, and then Santa Rita, San Simon, and Sasmuan. For Wednesday naman po, Lubao East, Lubao North and West, Macabebe East, Macabebe West, Magalang North, and Apalit. And then for Thursday, Magalang South and North, Masantol North and South, Mexico South, Mexico West and North, and then private schools. And also for Friday, meron po tayo dito na Minalin, Santo Tomas, Candaba East, San Luis, and then the Porac East. So ito po yung mga schedules natin. And also, as part of the enhanced preventive measures po, no, to fight the COVID-19, the spread of COVID-19, yung SDO po is planning to set up booth po, no? Actually, dalawang booth na dedicated. The first booth will be dedicated to the records unit po for the releasing and receiving of documents. Parang yung po sa regional office, no? Meron po silang hindi na po nila, kumbaga yung transaction po nila for the releasing and receiving of documents, doon na lang po sa malapit sa may gate nila. No? And then the documents to be released or received, marirelease lang po yan or marireceive sa mga official or official personnel po, no, na like our ADSS or liaison officers. And then yung second booth naman po para sa personnel section. So iyon po yung plan ng division. And then urgent communications naman po, no, paano naman yung mga urgent communications? Pwede po natin silang i-send po natin sila sa official email account po natin ng bawat unit or offices. Mamaya ipa-flash po natin yon. And then, we will not accommodate po personal follow-up. Okay? So, next slide please. Punta po tayo dun sa DM194 series of 2020. So, para naman po makater pa rin, no, yung mga needs po ng ating mga clients sa field, especially sa field, nag-craft po tayo ng online servicing assistance or tinatawag po natin ng OSA. Ito po yung online version ng mga transactions or processes natin dito sa division, wherein dun sa dati po nating yung citizens charter po natin usually through face-to-face po, no, natin pinaprocess yung mga nakalagay doon. Ito naman po yung parang online version niya. So, may sample po ako dito na ipa-flash. Yung example, ito po yung online processing of permit to teach, no? So, nakalagay po dyan kung yung schedule of availability niya, okay? Kung kaninong office siya ipaprocess, anong classification niya. Example, kung complex transaction yan, dapat within 7 working days siya matatapos. And then yung type of transaction niya, online of course, government to government. Then sino yung pwedeng mag-avail? So mga internal clients, ibig sabihin mga employees po ng DepEd. So nandiyan din po yung checklist of requirements and then kung saan natin sila pwedeng i-secure. Also, makikita dyan yung online client steps. So guided po kayo, no? Kung ano yung step-by-step procedures na gagawin. And then yung agency action per step. And then yung processing time. fees to be paid, if ever, kung meron, and then the person responsible or yung unit na responsible for that process. So, isasubmit po yan through email. So, mamaya nga po ipa-flash natin yung mga email, official DepEd email accounts po ng bawat unit or section. So, next po. Another sample, pareho lang po nung una-una, permit to study. And then, meron din po yan, example din. Ito lahat ng sinample ko ay under ng AO. Pero yung ibang units po meron. Kung babasahin po natin yung DM194, makikita po lahat dyan, no? Yung mga online services na po natin. So lastly, ipapakita ko na lang po ulit yung SDO Pampanga office emails wherein pwede po lahat ng concerns nyo, queries, isend dito at sasagutin po natin. Ayan. So for the OSDS, lahat po ng units under the OSDS and section, meron yan, dedicated na email address, DepEd email address. And then CID also, and of course, the SGOD. Ayan po. So I think I'm done for the AO po. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much po, Ma'am JB. Di manalang ang ating pinakamagandang Administrative Officer 5 po dito sa STO Pampanga. Meron po ba tayong katanungan for Ma'am JB? Okay. Meron po dito, may nagtanong po sa atin, ang ating kasamaan po si Ma'am Emeline. Hello po. Siguro para kay Sir Erwin po ito, medyo na-late lang po ang kanyang pag-send po. Babawasan daw po ba sa deposit yung sa MOOE ng mga senior high school daw po? Sir Erwin? Ano mga school heads po? Sige po, kung may katanungan po tayo regarding po kay Sir Erwin po, yan sa accounting. Wala po yata Sir Erwin. Sir Erwin. Ayan. Dahil busy po siya at marami po siyang trabaho po for now. Ayan. Text po natin siya so that we can clarify it. Okay po, ngayon po ay dumako na po tayo sa okay po. Sabi po ni Ma'am Bernadette Manyo, minsan napapatulong mga school heads and teachers to follow up dahil walang response and concern. So makakarating po ang inyong mga concerns po and mga queries po. Okay, so thank you po once again to Ma'am JB Manala. Okay, next up. Ayan, ready na. Ang pinakagandang SGOD chief po natin, Dr. Arcely S. Lopez for all the what updates po. Let's give it up for our chief in SGOD.
Pleasant and happy afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon. So I'll be sharing with you some of the concerns of the School Governance and Operations Division. Can we have now our slide? So these are our concerns. First, the concern of the planning office. So Sir Kids is requesting everyone, particularly our school heads from both public and private schools, to constantly update the Google Sheets for school year 2020-2021, like the quick count enrollment, Part C and D of the learners enrollment survey form, remote enrollment status report. As per instruction coming from the central office, regularly we do the updating of these three. Kasi from time to time, we are submitting, and the central office and even the regional office is requesting data from every division. So constantly po, you assign a teacher, particularly the ICT in charge of all of these things, to take a look from time to time and constantly and regularly do the updating so that we will not be late in the submission of report. Next. requests for transfer of teachers. So there are teachers coming from junior and senior high school, most especially requesting for transfer of teachers. So according to circuits, this is an observation. If you are a junior or a senior high school teacher requesting for transfer, kindly indicate your major, because this will be the basis in assigning you to a particular school. So in your request for transfer, you indicate your major. Likewise, for the updating of enrollment, the basis for the request of additional teacher coming from our school heads will be the enrollment. So we will be still using, according to central office, the same parameter for the number of teachers for a specific, the number of teachers in a specific enrollment. So the basis of the planning office, in collaboration, coordination with the human resource personnel, is the enrollment. So kindly po, there should be a constant updating of enrollment, because our kids had a previous experience that one principal or one school head is requesting for an additional teacher, and yet when circuit look at the enrollment being given by the teacher, that is not the same as the enrollment in the system. That is why we ask our principals to please constantly and regularly update the enrollment, because this will serve as basis for the grant of your request of additional teachers in your school. When it comes to research, we have the Regional Memorandum number 185 Series 2020. This is the harmonized regional research agenda of the regional office. And so at the division office, we also crafted our research agenda, of course, in alignment with the harmonized regional research agenda. So the planning and research section have issued a memorandum, guidelines on the conduct of school-based research for teachers. Kindly, as an appeal to our school heads, to please give our teachers the guidelines, the memo that was sent to the field on the conduct of school-based research for teachers, so that they would be guided accordingly when they submit their proposals to the planning and research section. So the memorandum was already given to the field. Kindly for this our teachers, so that they would be guided accordingly. Next slide. Under the school health section, there was a division memorandum that was issued to the field, and this is division memorandum number 237 series 2020, which is all about the health and safety protocols during actual distribution and retrieval of self-learning modules and other related activities. So that DepEd memorandum stipulates the mechanism for health and safety protocols in their respective schools to protect our DepEd personnel, particularly teachers, during the dry run, actual distribution, and retrieval of self-learning modules and other related activities. But if you would like to have a detailed guidelines on the required health standards in basic education offices and schools, we refer to DepEd Order Number 14 Series 2020. And likewise, some of the protocols stipulated in our division memorandum were taken from that DepEd Order Number 14 Series 2020. So we repeat some of the guidelines that are stipulated in our division memorandum 237. Next slide, please. So these are some of the protocols, measures that we need to follow, because our cases are increasing. So we prioritize the health and safety of our personnel. Number one in that DepEd memorandum, distribution, retrieval of self-learning modules should be strictly conducted on a predetermined and announced date and time by the school or the teachers. So beforehand, give the date, the time for the distribution, so our parents will be guided accordingly, so that they would be only arriving on that specific date that was sent and that was given by the school head or whoever the teachers concerned, so that they will be coming on the specific date and time set by the school heads. Second, only parents or guardians are allowed to get and return the modules. No learners will be permitted to do this under any circumstances. That is why it is very important again that the said time and date should be announced earlier so that parents would be ready to go to school to get the said learning materials. No learners will be permitted to get the modules in the school. Next, anyone who is suspected that he or she is infected should be discouraged from proceeding to the school. So dapat po natin alam yan, ano? Next po. No one will be allowed in the entry, including teachers and other school personnel, without wearing face masks and as much as possible face shields. Ngayon po, sinama na ang face shields. No transactions will be allowed if face masks and face shields are not properly worn. So whoever is the guard in charge in that particular school, the guard should be strict that no person would be allowed to come to the school, enter the premises without wearing face masks and if possible face shields. Everyone entering the school premises should pass through a foot bath and undergo health screening like temperature check at the school entrances. Before finally allowed to entry, all will be required to fill up contact tracing forms. So this is very crucial, the filling up of contact tracing forms, so that whatever happened, we can easily locate or trace those persons who have contact with a particular person who is infected of the virus. If possible, there should be wash facilities near the entrances where they can clean their hands with soap and water. Otherwise, there should be provision of hand sanitizers or alcohol. They should be available at the entrances. Whenever possible, there should be only one entrance and a separate exit to avoid crowding and contact and facilitate physical distancing among school personnel. Next. The school personnel, parents, and guardians should be constantly reminded to observe physical distancing, good respiratory hygiene, and proper coughing and sneezing etiquettes at all times. Signage on these and other reminders should be posted in strategic and conspicuous place inside the school. Regularly clean, disinfect frequently high-touch surfaces. If possible, use tablets with easily wiped covers where the parents or guardians can get or return the modules to facilitate cleaning and disinfection at the regular intervals. Although the classes was moved to October 5, but all of these things should be taken into consideration during the dry run because there are still dry run on the use of the modalities because we are there are still dry runs ongoing to our school for the different modalities. Be sure that when you do the dry runs, you take into consideration these guidelines. Likewise po, let us be extra careful in posting of pictures during the dry run. Kasi po makita natin yung mga pictures, teachers, they are asked to report to schools, crowded po sila, they do not observe physical distancing, makita po natin pictures post on the Facebook, wala po silang face mask, the interagency task force might be seeing it, or there will be someone who will be reporting to them that we at DepEd are not observing protocols. So let us be mindful and be extra cautious and careful on posting of pictures on social media. Titignan po natin yan. If these are required reports for the MOBs to be submitted in your report, you submit them directly to the office concerned. Siguro po, before we post, we take a second look at the pictures that we are posting if we are observing the necessary and proper protocol. Our attention might be called, particularly of the Department of Health and the Interagency Task Force, that we at DepEd are not observing the measures, the standards for health and safety of our personnel. On DRRM, DepEd Task Force COVID-19, which is Memorandum Number 85, DepEd released recorded videos of DRRM Buklatan and OOP Tambayan for Mental Health and Psychosocial Services. This will be distributed to our schools, both private and public. So according to this DepEd order, the week before and first week of the school year 2020-21 opening of classes will be devoted for the provision of psychosocial support services for mental health psychosocial services support for our learners. And as instruction by our dear superintendents, on October 5, half day of October 5 will be allotted for the orientation of all learners on mental health psychosocial services as one way of preparing them not only intellectually, not only cognitively, but likewise preparing them emotionally for the coming school year. So expect an orientation on the afternoon of October 5 to all our learners. If a certain office is declared lockdown and will be decontaminated, personnel should not be reported, particularly those schools used as quarantine. Therefore, do not ask your personnel to report, to do the printing of modules, or to do reports. Particularly, do not ask them to come to school. You schedule their coming to school. Do not ask all of them to come to school. But if the school is decontaminated and the school is used as quarantine strictly, there should be no personnel reporting to that school to ensure the health and safety of our personnel. You look for a place where you can print your modules, but not on that school that is being used as quarantine area. Now, these are the concerns of the human resource development. The uploading of electronic IPCRF of teachers is still ongoing until August 21, 2020. We do understand that there are a lot of activities, but we cannot forego all the other activities. All our transaction and services will continue, including the uploading of our electronic IPCRF, because we have a timeline that we need to follow that was set by the DepEd Central Office. The IPCRF of master teachers will no longer be validated by the PSDSS. And I will repeat that the IPCRF of master teachers will no longer be validated by the PSDSS. No schedule yet for the validation of the OPCRF of school heads. There would be a separate advisory which will be issued to the PID regarding the exact schedule on the validation of the OPCRF of our school heads. The IPCRF of teachers and master teachers whose approving authority is the ASDS or are the ASDSS, it shall be signed by the previous ASDS in charge. For this purpose, IPCRF for the signature of the said ASDSS can be submitted to SGOD for transmittal to the concerned ASDS. So, ibig po sabihin, lahat ng mga performance natin for last year, they would be signed by the previous ASDS concerned. And so, for their signature, you have to transmit them to SGOD, care of Sir Jason, and we will be the one transmitting them to the concerned ASDS. Schools are advised to strictly adhere to the stipulated timeline for the different activities concerning electronic IPCRF of teachers, from uploading, e-submission, up to the submission of hard copies to SGOD, following safety and healthy protocols. So we have issued the Division Memorandum number 226 to the field regarding the uploading, the submission of electronic IPCRF for teachers for school year 2019-2020. What we are submitting is school year 2019-2020. So this is now putting emphasis on that the division memorandum are the activities, the timeline or the schedule, and the person involved. So for the finalization of RATE's RPMS portfolio, submission of raters evaluation of RPMS portfolio, RATE rater accomplishment of IPCRF, and agreement on final IPCRF rating, development planning by RATE rater conference to discuss phase 4. The start of that activity is 4th week of June, so it started last June 4, and it will end on July 4, 2020. And the persons involved there are the RATE and the rater. So these are additional reminder for that activity that RATE accomplishes part 1 and 2 of the encoding tab of the electronic IPCRF. Rater and the RATE agree on the correct ratings, and then the RATE click the finalize button of parts 1 and 2 of the encoding tab. RATE accomplished part 4 of the electronic IPCRF and submit the final copy to rating for final verification. And I believe all of these things were already discussed through an orientation, and we just keep on repeating and emphasizing them so that you will be guided accordingly, and we can meet the specific timeline that we are asked to submit, the said electronic IPCRF. Now, continuation of the activities for the harvesting of electronic and printed IPCRF of all teachers. We started on August 3 and we will be ending on August 7. For the submission of electronic IPCRF to central office via online IPCRF data collection using that link, we started on August 3 and we will be ending August 21. Next thing. So submission of printed IPCRF to schools division office for signing of the approving authority. We will be starting receiving on August 24 and it will end on August 28. And for the submission of approved printed IPCRF, we will submit them to ESCOD, care of the Human Resource Development Section, Sir Jason. Attention, Sir Jason. We started last August 3 and we will be ending on August 28. So those are the specific activities together with the timeline regarding the submission of IPCRF. And then finally, the monitoring of IPCRF submission of schools started in August 3 and it will end on August 28. Now, one of the things that we are asked to submit regularly to central office is the SDO readiness report on the trainings and orientation of our parents and guardians. We have a low readiness when it comes to the training and orientation of parents and guardians. So we are asking everyone, siguro po, some of our schools or majority of our schools have already conducted training and orientation and have not yet submitted the report. Kindly please submit your report through the link, and on August 19, we will be submitting another report to central office so we can update our readiness report on the training and orientation for parents and guardians. Doon po sa ating readiness report that we are submitting to the regional and to the central office, ang mababa na lang po natin ay ang training and orientation of parents and guardians. Siguro po, we need to take a closer look at this particular matter, our school heads, both private and public, because part of the calendar of activities is training and orientation of parents and guardians regarding the modalities to be used, regarding how we open and how we do school year 2020-21. So submit your readiness report because we'll be submitting the next readiness report on August 19 to Level Central Office. Now, we repeat again and reiterate again our GAD activities. GAD activities approval, as instructed by our dear superintendent, is at the school level, like the flu vaccine and the GAD-related activities. What you will be submitting only at the division office is the activity completion report, but the approval is already at the school level. Submit only after you have conducted or implemented the activity completion report. Now, another concern of the Human Resource Development are the series of webinar to be conducted this week. So from August 18 to August 20, there are series of webinars for school heads. So through Division Memorandum 236, which is the guidelines on the required health standards in basic education in offices and schools, there will be a webinar on this, and this will be discussed by the department in partnership with the Department of Health for batch 1. August 18, batch 1 is 9 to 12 and batch 2 is 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. For August 20, batch 3, 9 to 12 and batch 4 is 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. And our participants here are public elementary and secondary school heads. And the platform to be used is Google Meet. Now, on August 19th, we'll have the webinar on the promotion of mental health and workers' resilience during COVID-19 pandemic. This is a very good session for our school heads. Again, this will be conducted in partnership with the Department of Health. It will be from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So all public elementary and secondary school heads and teachers will be our participants in the said webinar for mental health and workers' resilience during COVID-19 pandemic. We need this one. We need this one. We need to prepare our emotion, our mental health, so that we could function effectively amidst the challenges that we are facing in COVID-19. For private school, under the school management monitoring and evaluation, for private schools, because participants in this management committee meeting with us today are also the school heads of private schools, both elementary and secondary. Although classes, it was announced, classes will open on October 5 for both private and public. But private schools and other non-DepEd schools that have already started their classes and or are scheduled to start on August 24, next Monday, or on other dates ahead of October 5, are allowed to proceed, provided they are. So, to those who have started already and to those who will open on August 24 and on succeeding dates prior to October 5, you are allowed to operate and to open, provided that you satisfy the following. 1, using only distance learning modalities and that there are no face-to-face classes. So, be sure that there are no face-to-face classes. Second, submit relevant documents to the regional director as required by DepEd Order Number 7, Series 2020. So DepEd Number 7 is the calendar of activities. And in that calendar of activities, there are documents that you need to submit to DepEd Central Office. Likewise, the document on DepEd Order Number 13 and Number 17 on the readiness checklist, which are the non-negotiable requirements for the modalities that you will be using in the opening of classes for this particular year. So, very strict po tayo, no approved LCP, no opening of classes. And that is a tall instruction from DepEd po that no approved LCP, no opening of classes. So we are now reviewing, validating, because the LCPs we were asked to hold the LCPs prior to the submission to the regional office because we are awaiting for a final DepEd memorandum for the readiness assessment. Now that we have DepEd Order Number 17, we will be now submitting your LCP to the regional office. So while waiting for the approval of the LCP, you cannot open classes for. So you need to wait for your approved LCP. Next. So these are the additional documents that you will be submitting. Submission of documentary requirements in relation to the opening of classes for private school. In hard copy, the deadline is up to August 14 only, last Friday. Hard copy to be submitted to SGOD through the records unit. And soft copy to be emailed at that email ad. The letter of intent, the LCP, which shall contain the following: implementation plan on the learning delivery modalities, teacher and school heads professional development training plan for the implementation of the learning modalities. During our meeting with the private schools, we have already mentioned the following documents, but we keep on repeating them so that our district supervisors could assist them and provide the needed technical support for the documents that they will be submitting with us. So teacher and school heads professional development, training of the modality to be used, orientation training plan for parents for the implementation of the learning delivery modalities, communication mechanism to address queries from parents, teachers, learners on the implementation of the modality and LCP, and then the monitoring and evaluation adjustment, or the MEPA. Next. You submit also the school plan for compliance with minimum health standards, the school calendar, the template, use the template that was provided by the SGOD. Now, part of the non-negotiable requirements to be submitted for the modality that you will be using are the following. Items 7 and 8 and 10 under letter A, which is online learning. Items 5, 6, and 8 for modular, whichever is applicable, and then certification on teacher training and parent orientation, and statement of undertaking that tuition and other fees are consulted with the parents. My dear private schools, all of these things should be satisfied first requirements for the approval of the regional director of your LCP, because this will be part of the attachment and part of the MOBs that they are looking into prior to the approval of your LCP. Next. So, based on DepEd Order number 13 and number 17, other documents, non-negotiable requirements on the modalities to be implemented for private schools, they are extended until December 29, 2020. Other concern for private schools, notation, decrease of tuition fees to be submitted to ESCOD. There is a moratorium on the increase of tuition fee. For private schools, is their tuition fees, still you are asked to submit a copy of those notation and decrease of tuition fees to the revision office. For closure of private schools, following po to the notification for the closure and duly notarized affidavit of closure of school signed by the Board of Trustees. Application, next po, still on private schools, application for government recognition permit to operate for school year 21 to 22 shall be forwarded to PSDSS for the review of documents prior to their submission to ESCO. So yung application for next year, submit them first to the PSDS in charge of that particular district before they would for evaluation and for checking of the required documents prior to the submission to the division office. Kindly po we follow the timeline. Late submission will no longer be processed because they will also they will not be processed likewise to the regional level. So we strictly follow the timeline that was set to us by the regional level. Next. Kindly our PSDSS check the permit granted by region for SY 2020-2021. Only schools with permit shall be allowed to operate. Some schools have yet to pay inspection fee for the issuance of permit for 2019 to 2020. So there are some private schools wherein permit was already issued, but they have not yet paid their inspection fee. Kindly settle po the inspection fee to the regional office. Newly established private schools with government permit for school year 20 to 21 shall write a letter of request for school ID to the division office for those newly established schools. Next. Submission of report. Let us go now to the next section, social mobilization and networking. Submission of report on 2020 Brigada Escuela resources generated for the month of August. The deadline is August 28. Next. This is a reminder to everyone. Kindly remind also our teachers on this. Be careful on posting of names of donors because we have seen donors, their donation, particularly the money received, na may 50,000, 30,000, including the name of the donor na nakapost sa Facebook, although this is one way of recognizing, acknowledging the contribution of our donor, our stakeholders, but on the privacy, on the Data Privacy Act, we should not be posting. Kasi po, alam po natin ang panahon ngayon, pwede po makontak, matrace ang donor na yon, at meron pong reported na because of posting in the social media, ninakawan ang isang donor. That is why we should be extra careful and cautious on posting. Tingnan po natin if it is not against Data Privacy Act. There are a lot of ways to recognize and acknowledge our donors aside from posting them on social media because this might not have a positive effect, particularly everyone is seeing our post on social media. So let us be extra careful on this. Next, there should be no personal paper. This will create confusion among our stakeholders. When we solicit po, we not individual solicitation, This is not allowed po. Halimbawa po daw yung click mo, kapag kinlik mo, mag-donate ka ng bond paper. We do not recommend that po. And so let us also be careful on that. Personal individual solicitation is not allowed po. And let us be careful on that. That might create confusion among our stakeholders. Majority of us, our third reminder, majority among us are working from home. Work from home po tayo. If we are working from home, do not post about online selling when we are working from home. If the time is 8 to 5, within that time, you do not advertise if you are an online seller. If you would like to post po, you do it after official business or after our time. Again, that is a friendly reminder to everyone. If you're supposed to be working from home, do not post your online selling during the official business. If you would like to post, you post after the official business. Again, another reminder, we observe data privacy. Do not post names of students in social media. Bawal na bawal po daw yun. Yung mga list of pupils ninyo, yung sa graduation, na pinupost natin ang mga pangalan ng ating mga estudyante, bawal po yun. That is against Data Privacy Act. Let us safeguard the information of our personnel, of our learners. Siguro po, these are friendly reminders and it's not too late. We can still practice them and apply them. Next. On the youth formation section, SDO Pampanga has launched already youth virtual community for the youth formation section. Every Friday, one micro-learning video regarding youth formation program will be uploaded. That is why we are encouraging everyone, our learners from grades 4 to 12, both public and private, to join the Facebook closed group for the youth formation section, so that everyone will benefit from the micro-learning videos that is being uploaded every Friday on that particular Facebook closed group. Sabi natin po, education must continue. Even our programs, even the programs that we implement in the youth formation section for our learners, for our youth, should also be continued. And so this is one way of continuing those programs for our youth through that virtual community. And everyone will be benefited from those video learning that are being uploaded in that youth virtual community. Next. Sports equipment. On sports and BSP. According to Sir Alvin, and we went to Bacolor together with Ma'am, sports equipment, supplies, materials will be transferred to Bacolor District, Bulaon. We already talked with Ma'am has already talked with the district supervisors that the sports equipment that were housed at Mexico will be transferred to Bacolor District, Bulaon City, and San Fernando. And Ma'am has already talked with the principal of San Matias Elementary School of Santo Tomas that the Boy Scout BSP Council Office will be planning to transfer to San Matias Elementary School of Santo Tomas. And next slide, Tim. And finally, this will be our last slide. Sir Alvin would like to take this opportunity. Pinasasabi po niya, appreciating and acknowledging and recognizing the support of all PSDSS, school heads, and IT leaders who took part and helped in the successful first ever online English proficiency test. So thank you so much daw, sabi ni Sir Alvin, appreciating and sending you your message, the message of gratitude to all our PSDSS, school heads, and IT leaders who took part in making our online English proficiency test successful. So again, thank you, and those are the concerns of the schools, governance, and operations division. Blessed day to everyone.
Thank you so much to our SWAT Chief, Dr. Arcely S. Lopez for a thorough update on the SGOD concerns and issues. So, pero naman kung tanong po dito, Ma'am Sel, si Ma'am Paz Wahe, ask ko lang po, ask ng mga school heads if work from home po ang mga teachers, lalo na ngayon dumadami ang cases.
Naka-work from home po ang ating mga teachers. Siguro po, Madam Sel, and our SDS would answer this. But personally po, dahil naka-work from home po ang our teachers, they are doing the necessary preparation when it comes to the implementation of teaching and learning, preparing themselves for the coming, for the opening of classes on October 5. So siguro po, they are asked to submit everyday output to their school head po. So ma'am, kanina po during our meeting, inihingi po siya ng sample ng output na isasubmit ng ating mga teachers at output na isasubmit ng ating mga school heads at output na isasubmit ng ating mga supervisors at mga personnel. Because we are working from home, we are expected to every day submit an output to our respective unit heads.
Okay po, meron din pong katanungan po si Sir Narciso Mendiola po. We have requests for transfer of teachers in our school. How shall we know po if the requests have been granted?
If the request will be granted, they will be given po a special order signed by our school's division superintendent. But right now po, Sir Kitts and Sir Dexter are collaborating regarding the enrollment, regarding those teachers who are on leave for a quite a long time and who are teachers who have retired, to be able to identify the grant of the request of our teachers. And likewise, the enrollment is one of the factors to be considered in the grant of the transfer of our teachers. That is why in our announcement, you constantly update the enrollment, because this will be a crucial data in the grant of transfer to those teachers who are requesting for transfer.
And another po, dagdag po ni Sir Narciso, may I take this opportunity, sabi po niya, to inform our STO that our school at GD Mendoza National High School is ready once again to become a quarantine site at the number of COVID cases and persons under monitoring spike in Tuagua. And then another question po and query po, and some suggestion po from Sir Arnel Pablo, para iterate din po na hindi lang yung suspect of infection na hindi dapat sumali sa distribution or retrieval, but also yung mga nagpa-test for COVID-19 na hindi pa lumalabas ang result. And another po from Sir Eduardo Yaput, can we have the link or copy of Regional Memo number 185 series of 2020? Kindly repost po. I think this is for the research po.
Yes, sir. We will be supplying you the link for the regional memorandum on the harmonized research agenda.
And school heads concerned po from Ma'am Annalisa Pineda, hindi pa makapag-submit ng IPCRF request not yet granted. Opo, hindi pa daw po makapag-submit ng IPCRF because requests are not yet granted. From Ma'am Annalisa Pineda.
Sino mag-grant po ng request? Siguro po. Siguro. So that we will not be utilizing much of the time for question and answer. You just write your question on the chat box, and we will be answering you on the chat box, so that we will be not be utilizing much of the time. There are still a lot of sharers for this MANCOM. Kindly
Okay po. Yun po, narinig po natin si Ma'am Arcely Lopez, ang ating ESCO Chief po, for her announcements. And if you have queries po, again, dito po sa, i-course through po natin dito po sa ating chat box dito sa Google Meet. And ask our PSPSS for your concerns and some questions or queries. Again, maraming salamat po, Ma'am Arcely S. Lopez. Now, dire-diretso na po tayo. Of course, let's hear the announcements from the CID updates din po. Ihahatid po sa atin ni Ma'am Dr. Celia Lacandale, ang CID Chief ng STO Pampanga.
Hello po, Ma'am Nicole. Am I being heard po at your end? Hello? Hello?
Hello po. Yes, loud and clear. We can see you po.
All right. Hello po. Okay, thank you so much po. My greetings po, and greetings of hope and love to everyone present in our MANCOM meeting. And of course, my special greeting to our SDS, Dr. Zenia G. Mostoles, our two charming ASTSS, Dr. Shirley Tipagan, and also Ma'am Melissa Sanchez, my co-chief po, Dr. Arcely Lopez, the CID family, the ESCOD family, our unit heads, our officers of the PESPA and the PASPA, our school heads, both in the elementary and secondary of the private and public schools. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Let me just start po my presentation with the quotation from the Bible of St. James, chapter 1, verses 2 to 3. Sabi po niya, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. And let me just underscore the words joy, perseverance, and faith, because these words resonate to the Kapampangan spirit, to the Kapampangan soul. And truly, in the SDO Pampanga, it is the strong faith that keeps us moving towards one direction, and we are not deterred with our mission of the battle cry of the department that education must continue and learning should not wait. And this afternoon, let us keep that spirit, the spirit of joy, of perseverance, and of faith. So this afternoon, let me just share with you the rundown of the different topics for the CID concerns. Second slide po, ma'am. Okay, the first one is division-wide dry run of learning modalities. The second is the production of TV-based lessons. Third is the status of the SLM sprinting, suggested strategies in implementing distance learning delivery modalities, and announcements. So yung others po natin. Let me start po with the first topic, which is on division-wide dry run of learning modalities. And based from the reports po, gathered from the field, there were already 10 districts who submitted the report and one cluster in the secondary. And let me just emphasize po that the submission of this report should be today, August 17, for the dry run of your modular instruction and online instruction as well. For the TV-based instruction, hopefully we can have a dry run of this modality this week, or if not, by next week. Let me just share with you some of the issues and challenges gathered po from the report submitted already. Like, for example po, some parents were not able to get the modules. Why? Probably it was not well coordinated. Some parents difficulty also in giving assistance to their children, particularly on subjects like English, science, and math. That parents had difficulty in disciplining their children, particularly when they answer for the different modules. And then children are also distracted by gadgets, and sometimes they were asking for their playmates on the different lessons and also answers. And then children were so dependent on their parents, particularly in answering for the different parts of the module. And then others po, some students or parents cannot even understand the MTB language. Siguro po, ito po dahil they were used to Tagalog, and also not only Tagalog, but their mother tongue as well. It's not Kapampangan, it's not their mother tongue. And then another po yung blurred copies of the modules given to the parents, and 100% of the modules were not retrieved on time. Another po yung poor attendance of parents during orientation, and there was communication signal interruption, particularly for online instruction. Marami pa pong mga issues na lumabas, tulad halimbawa, some modules were so difficult to answer. Pangalawa, anong susunod po dyan, difficulty to reach the parents, particularly on far-flung areas. Difficulty in disseminating information for those who do not have also gadgets, Facebook account, or load to reply. And some parents did not follow the scheduled time given by the principal. Some parents also did not go to school to get the modules. Instead, they requested other parents to get the modules for them. And then some also did not follow the what we call safety and health protocols. Some materials in experiment, particularly in science, are not found at home. And then the unavailability of the TV channel, particularly of CLTV 36, in their locality. There were also responses to challenges met by our school heads, our teachers, and also parents. Like, for example, they have already asked the assistance of the LGUs, particularly in giving or distributing modules and also in retrieval. And they have already informed the parents on the needed assistance, particularly in coaching their children. Kaya po yung mga apo, yung mga kapatid, and teachers were kept on assisting also the parents, particularly on the text chat or calls. And then inform also the parents to set a place for studying para hindi daw po sila ma-distract. And then another po dito, that children should not be left behind while doing po their modules. And then the children were reminded and monitored constantly. And then the worksheets were also explained to the parents thoroughly. And another po, the parents were also requested to explain the modules to their children in the language best understood. So may mga accommodations na po ginawa ang ating mga teachers, ang ating po mga school heads in trying to face the different challenges po of the different dry run in learning modalities. Tingnan po natin yung mga responses pa rin sa mga challenges niyan. Sabi po nila, improved the quality of photocopy. Siyempre po yung mga bata, hindi gaganahang magbasa yan kapag po hindi readable po yung mga materials natin. Another po yung, they have already informed also the server to strengthen the internet connection in their locality. Another po dito, okay, they have already identified the communication platform for the online instruction. Okay, and then they try to validate also why some parents were not able to come to the school for the getting of modules. And then the creation of GC, the GC to answer the different queries of parents and guardians. So marami po akong mga nakita dito, and these responses coming from the field will be collated and submitted to our EPSS and also to our PSDSS. So everyone po will be able to take note of the different challenges and how we can also try to minimize these challenges before the opening of classes on October 5. So mabuti po na extend po yung ating timeline for the opening of classes. And so now we have ample time to prepare for the remediations. May mga successful strategies po ang mga nakita dito, the proper motivation of our parents, the presentation of the video clips and dry run of the LBM, the utilization of the GC, constant reminder of parents of the importance of physical distancing. Natutuwa po ako that it was Ma'am Arceli who presented the concerns of the SGOD, particularly on DepEd Memorandum number 237. Napakahalaga po talaga that our parents and all members of the community, school community can be coached, can be oriented on the importance of DepEd Memo number 237. Kasi nakita po natin na may mga lumabag din sa mga parents natin during the dry run. And then, yung mga safety protocols naman in other areas were strictly followed. Okay, yung iba daw po, they followed the grade level schedule, the subject schedule, and then the improvisation of storage boxes for the modules and proper info dissemination. So, may mga challenges at mga issues. Pero then again, our principals, because they are very good in nature, they were able to answer their challenges at the respective schools. Now, ma'am, can we at least go flash? Okay, the process flow for TB-based instruction. Okay, sige po, yan po ay enclosure natin sa ating mismong division memorandum. Okay, and I thank, of course, Ma'am Shirley Sipagan and also Ma'am Eliza in trying to come up with an easier tool to collate the materials or reports for the dry run of the different schools. So let's proceed po on the process flow for TB-based instruction. During our last MANCOM po, I was able to explain already in the previous MANCOMs the different process flow with the CID family, particularly on learning modalities. na-explain na po natin yung ating pong curriculum delivery, process flow, na-explain na rin po natin yung modular distance learning, pero this particular process flow was not yet explained to you. So let me just focus on the process flow for TB-based instruction. Yung mga phases pong dinaanan ng ating pong TB-based instruction, like for example, in the Schools Division Office, we have presented po our SDO Pampanga Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. No? So ito pong ating BELCP ngayon, it was presented to the provincial capital. And it was the provincial capital who allotted po funds for the payment to the CLTV 36 for the airing of our video lessons. And then what we did po in the CID family is to prepare class programs integrating the TV schedule and video lessons. And then what is the take of the school regarding the TBI? So kayo po, you were able to conduct also a survey based on your LESF, regarding po how many of your parents and learners have really TVs at home. So napakahalaga po yan for TVI. So we can identify sino ba ang mayroon at sino po ba ang mga wala. If the household po has a TV, then of course the learner, together with the parents, can watch TV video lessons and they can explore on the different expected activities in the modular printed mga printed modules natin. Pero kung halimbawa yung mga households po natin, wala po mga TV ang nasa left po natin, teacher advisors can save the video lessons on external drive. So that is only one way of saving the materials. We can also save the materials po through our local portal or what we call Libro in our division. And the saving of this particular video lessons can be, again, reviewed by our learners later on for greater mastery of the lessons. So, ito pong next natin po sa ating mismong flow, learners watch TV video lessons and do expected activities. Okay, ang malaking tanong po dito, were they able to achieve the different competencies or objective set in the video lessons, Kasama po yan kasi ang pinaka-basis natin which is modular printed modular instruction. So, achieve po ba yung mga tinatawag nating mga expected outputs or activities in the TV, instruction, UPS, then sabi po natin, gagawin po ng mga anak natin yan, and the outputs of our learners, as instructed by the teacher in the TV-based instruction, will be submitted po by the parents or guardians on the specified drop points in the school. Pero kung halimbawa po sa ating pong flow, hindi po na-achieve ng mga anak natin, yung mga iba't ibang mga assessment, tawag po natin mga formative assessments, in the TBI and even in the modular instruction, ano madalas natin ginagawa po? So parents need to be instructed that they need to assist, coach their children during the watching of the TV and also the reading of the different modules as well. Dito po, sabi natin, if our learners will not be able to master the needed competencies, they are being coached again by the respective subject teachers. Kaya very crucial, yung po tinatawag natin within the week, teachers need to coordinate with their learners, with their classes, who are meeting the expectations and those who are not really meeting the grade expectations. Okay, so ito po yung ating process flow for the TB-based instruction. Now, let me just emphasize, huwag po nating ilipat. Let me just emphasize some reminders on the TBI and the RBI. In our division, there is one district po, who is really working on the RBI. But then again, the level of readiness is not too high because of the absence of the approval coming from the NTC. Pero ito lang po, ang sabi natin, mga reminders natin for TBI. TBI or RBI shall be implemented in areas with access to television networks and or radio stations. Alam po natin na ang CLTV 36, which is our partner for TV-based instruction, ay hindi po yan, it cannot be reached by all districts, by all clusters and municipalities. So what is then our option for the TBI? Video lessons po will be uploaded in our local Libro portal. And so our learners, so aside from the FB live streaming, they can, again, have a replay of these materials if ever po they do not have TV sets at home. Another po, sabi natin, what's really the basis for the TBI instruction? ang ating pong mga basis dyan ay mga SDO, no? Contextualized materials which were converted into, sabi natin, TVI scripts, and this TVI scripts into TB-based, TBI instruction or TB-based instruction. All of these video-based lessons po are MELCS-based, no po? They are MELCS map and also MELCS-based, okay? Now, the success of the TBI in our division and even the RBI, my dear principals, no, will only make into reality if this is complemented, no, with what we call the modules or what we call supplementary materials. No, it can be a worksheets for our learners, o kaya po sabi natin kung hindi po mga worksheets o mga modules, other supplementary materials po that can be shared with our learners. Kaya nga po doon sa ating division memorandum, pinapamap natin ang mga available na mga textbooks with, no, aligned rather with the MELCS as well. Okay. Then, sabi natin, mga materials natin for learning exercises, enrichment activities, and assessment may also be provided, no, in printed form. So, ang TBI, palagi po siyang may ka-complement. It's the modular instruction. That's the reason why in our division, we always would emphasize blended learning modality. So, hindi lang po siya TB, meron pa po siyang kasama. Another po, no, so, in our division memorandum, we have emphasized the schedule for the TBI. So parents, no, need to accompany their children in watching the different programs aligned with the different grade level schedules. So kailangan nakamonitor po yung ating mga parents diyan, no? Although sabi natin si Gov, very strict, no, in saying that dapat ay nasa TV lang yan. If our learners will be missing their schedule, they cannot watch it anywhere. But in our division, we are trying to address that particular issue because totoo nga po naman kapag lumagpas na yung ating mismong video lesson sa TV, no, at walang FB live stream, at wala tayong another option, and our learners cannot review the materials and cannot really master the competency set, no, for that particular week. So, no, sa TBI, palagi po natin sinasabi din, if there are queries, if there are clarifications, no, or possible confusion in the teaching delivery of our TB presenters, then, no, our learners can coordinate with their advisors, parents can coordinate with the advisors in different platforms as well. Pwede po ang chat, pwede po ang phone calls, pwede po ang text messaging and other forms. Okay? So, palagi po namin sinasabi that our parents need to guide, okay? Learning Paths need to guide the viewing of our learners, no, for this particular modality. Okay? O, sige po, dako po tayo sa susunod na process natin. The next process po, na hindi pa po na paliwanag sa inyo, then we have po the presentation, the process flow for online instruction. Okay. Ito pong process flow for online instruction, there were around 14 schools who opted for this particular modality. It's so difficult, no, to launch this modality in our division because of, sabi natin, no, sometimes the poor internet connectivity in the different schools. So after the dry run, there were already 3 schools who informed me that they're not going to implement, no, the online instruction in the elementary. So we still have around 11 schools, and hopefully there will be more, no, if ever, no, if you have tried it working, no, in your community or in your school, and if there is higher internet connectivity. So the process flow will start po, and then our learners po need to be, okay, clarified on the importance of logging in. So kailangan muna po silang mag-log in our curriculum webpage for online instruction. There were already instructions how this online instruction will take place in our division. So kailangan po na sumagot yung bata natin doon sa parang a sort of enrollment form, no? So nandoon po yung kanyang pangalan, the sex, the age, the section, and also yung kanyang email address. This is so important so that they will become part of the online class of the teacher. So yun po, no, click apply button and register using your account. So napakahalaga ng mga anak natin prior to October 5, meron na silang mga sariling account, no? Para po sa online instruction. They have already given their emails, no, the email address to their teachers so that, no, even the teacher po should also issue the email address, her or his email address, kasi kailangan po na masubmit yung mga outputs natin in various forms. So halimbawa po, naglagin yung bata, is the child authorized to be part of that particular class? If yes, then access po will be granted. And then the child together with the teacher can start po the online class. Kapag po not authorized, no, again, the child need to attempt 3 times. Baka naman nagkamali lang siya dun sa kanyang pong password, hindi po ba, or sa kanyang email ad. And then, kung magsastart na po yung online class natin, let me just reiterate that teachers need to orient again the teachers prior to the opening of classes on the platforms to be utilized. And DepEd has, again, issued possible online platforms that the teacher and also the learners can utilize. So dito po sabi natin, when the teacher starts an online class with the agreed platform, the teacher can utilize varied materials for online classes. So it's not only the SDO and the central office modules that can be utilized for instruction. Pwede pong gumawa ng iba pong mga activities ang teachers natin, visual lessons that can be shared during the online class. Sabi natin, but again, they are based on the merits of the specific week. So learners need to actively engage with the teacher during the online classes, utilizing, of course, the apps button and the chat box, like what we are doing po a while back. And then they need also to partner with group for collaborative work. So hindi lang po ito teacher and learner interaction. Okay, kasama rin yung mga groups natin. Teachers can devise or formulate groups po for group activities for online instruction. Learners can do or perform tasks and create videos for the activities po sent by the teacher. And then they need to submit po the outputs in varied forms like email. Pwede po silang mag-send email utilizing the email ad of the teacher through FB Messenger, or etc. Okay, dito po sa ating mismong process flow, there the submit evaluation form. Why is there a need to submit evaluation form right after the online class? Okay, this will become a formative assessment on the part of the teacher and the learners as well. Natuto ba sila based on the modules, based on the activities presented by the teacher in the online instruction? Okay, the teacher po ba was able to meet them on a designated time, etc. So we have already crafted po the evaluation form for this one. And it was Sir John po who developed or designed our curriculum webpage for online instruction. So, and that will be the end. So after the submission of the evaluation form of our learners on the online experiences, online instruction experiences, then that will be the end of that particular session with the teacher. So dito po sa online instruction, napakarami pong mga reminders tayo dito. Okay, again, gusto ko pong banggitin dito sa online distance learning that a teacher should organize a class following the parameters of DepEd. Ano po ang mga parameters na to? Actually po, ang mga nagsabi lang sa Pampanga for online distance learning ay nasa grade 6 and high school. So, for example po, for grade 6 po, 4 to 6, ang parameter po natin is 1 is to 40 to 45 learners in a class. And then for the high school po, we have 1 is to 40. Po, 1 is to 40 to 45. And for the senior high, 1 is to 40. So, yun po yung mga parameters natin. Usually, grade 6 po ang mga pumili niyan hanggang po ang senior high school. So, we follow, when we organize classes for online instruction, we follow DepEd parameters, planning parameters po for the organization of classes. Number 2, okay, it is only applicable. Kaya nga dapat po, bago yung opening, it is only applicable for our learners and teachers with access to digital devices. Meron po silang laptop, may tablet, may smartphones, meron po silang desktops. At meron silang strong internet connection. Kaya yung iba po umatras na dahil po sa problem sa connection. Number 3, sabi natin, ano yung mga resources na pwedeng gamitin ni teacher? So aside from the SLMs, mga self-learning modules natin, pwede pong gumamit ang teacher natin ng textbooks, mga primer lessons, activity sheets, teacher-made videos, and other supplementary materials, and other open educational resources. Okay, and then of course, parents, learners need to be informed prior to the opening of classes, different educational platforms, and also online platforms for, online distance learning. Ano po ang mga to? Like for example, kung gagamit tayo ng ganito, these are the recommended online platforms of DepEd: Edmodo, Google Classroom, Schoology, the Moodle, and the Google Meet. So dapat ang mga ito po ay na-explain and toto sa mga learners natin na on how to submit reports, on how to submit projects, on how to utilize these particular platforms. Even parents po during the orientation, sabi ni ma'am kanina, yung level of readiness ng mga parents mababa pa. So hopefully, before October 5, parents should also be informed on these different platforms. Ano ba ang gagamitin ni teacher? Ano ba ang gagamitin po ng eskwelahan? So another po na dapat nating tandaan. So aside from the online instruction, it is also a must that our teachers and school heads need to provide our learners printed copies of SLMs. Napakahalaga po yan. But kailangan po ito. Sabi natin, blended instruction. Our learners need to read also the materials, which are connected to the online instruction. So yung ating pong mga activity sheets, yung ating pong mga printed materials for modules, kailangan mayroon din pong kopya yung ating mga estudyante. Another reminder for online distance learning will be the screen time guidelines by age. Ang DepEd po ay ang tawag natin dito, strict when it comes to the screen time guidelines by age, as recommended by World Health Organization and American Academy of Pediatrics. Ano pong sinasabi? Online instruction po, yung maximum na screen time for kinder is only for 1 hour. A maximum of 1.5 hours for grades 1 to 5 learners. Maximum of 2 hours daily for our learners in grades 6 to 8, and for grades 9 to 12, maximum of 4 hours. So far, wala naman po lumalabag sa ating lahat sa mga guidelines na to ng DepEd on the guidelines for screen time. Ano pa po ang mga habilin ng DepEd dito? In the preparation of the weekly home learning plan and class programs, dapat nakaspecify yung ating po mga learning modalities for our learners. Kasama na po yung sa online distance learning. Another po, that teachers need to provide varied activities for our learners for online instruction. So the use of locomotion, motor sensory, the audio tools, and others po need to be utilized by our teachers. Why? Sabi po natin, diverse po ang mga anak natin. So hindi puro yung nakikinig lang sila, nakaupo lang po sila. Another reminder would be to utilize and to capture what we call 20-20-20 parameters. Ano pong ibig sabihin niya ng mga American Optometric Association? 20, that after 20 minutes, yung ating pong mga anak po, they are recommended after 20 minutes to focus on one object, at about 20 feet away from the screen for about 20 seconds. Baka kasi lumabong mga mata ng mga teachers natin. Mukha ko, lumabong aking mata dahil sa pag-edit ng mga modules, from 200 naging 350 ng grado ng ating mga mata. So again, that's a recommendation, 20-20-20. Another po, yung kailangan banggitin po dito that our materials for online instruction can be made available not only for online, but also in a different capacities like, sabi po natin, our local portal in our division, and the other portals as well of the central office. So marami po mga pwedeng pagkunan ng mga materials natin for online distance learning. Napakahalaga din, before the school would embark on online distance learning, that teachers need to be capacitated as well, on the different online platforms. So kung may mga binanggit po natin kanina, kung Google Classroom, kung Schoology po yan, kung Google Meet yan, and the things that really entail, the utilization of these platforms, kailangan po maituro sa mga teachers natin. So they can also adequately explain how this platform will work for online distance learning. So yun po yung mga habilin natin, habilin po ng DepEd for online distance learning. Let's proceed po on our second agenda, which is the production of TV-based lessons. We have issued po to the field ano po natin, no? The Division Memorandum Number 239 Series 2020. May tanong po si Sir Raul dito, school ba ay pwedeng mag-provide ng mga modules? Yes. Okay, later po, capture po natin yung sinabi po ni Sir Raul. Okay? So, production of TB-based lessons based on our Division Memorandum Number 239 Series 2020. Dahil nga po sa rising cases of COVID-19, majority of our TB presenters opted to work, no, yung pong sabi nila, work from home. Okay? Although there were some who also opted for face-to-face, no, for the shooting of the TB-based lessons, we always suggest, no, based on this particular division memorandum, that we ensure and practice safety protocols and what to bring, no, para po to the smooth, okay, shoots of this particular lessons, what to bring, naka-specify na po sa ating division memo, and all teachers are in DepEd uniform, although they are shooting their own lessons at home. And if they are going to the office, no, the provision of travel authority coming from the office of our, the personal's office and from Ma'am JB as well. Bakit napakahalaga po na meron po silang travel authority? Okay, we want to make our teachers po safe, to feel safe, that, and also, majority of the times po, I always communicate with our PSDSS to ensure that our teachers have, have district vehicle, yeah, para po may hatid sila at may balik po sila sa kanilang mga iba't ibang mga stations, no? So, yun po ay isa sa mga safety mechanism na ginagawa natin. Pero at the moment, ako rin po natatakot, the majority of our TV presenters need, okay, to prepare and craft their own TV video lessons at home. Okay, now let's proceed po to the next, no? Kasi tinanawagan ko naman si Ma'am po hinggil dito. Regarding po the, okay, production of TV-based lessons, last Saturday po, I was called by our superintendent regarding the issue of the central office on what to utilize, no, for the TV-based instruction, because the central office, through the office of our, okay, undersecretary for administration, Sir Allen po, Del Pasqua, is recommending that the TV-based lessons crafted by the central office will be utilized. Okay naman po na gamitin natin ang mga yan. Actually, no, we have 3 teachers po who passed the validation of the central office as TV presenters, no, nationwide. Kasama po yan sa mga napili ng central office. And again, sabi po ni Ma'am, the central office is looking for, okay, more than 300 talents, no, for TV-based instruction. So if our teachers are very, very much interested, particularly those who have already produced their own videos, pwede naman po yan ibigay through our EPSS, we pursue it to the EPSS for submission to the central office as well. A while back po, tumawag, nung pong Sabado, tumawag po ako kay Ma'am Levy, no, Rubio, our CLMD chief, regarding the production of TV-based lessons. And according to her, no, she would consult our RD and ARD. So sabi naman po ni ARD kanina, sumagot po siya na pwedeng ipapanood ang mga video lessons natin anyway. They are contextualized lessons, no, video lessons of our division. And if our aim is really to lead our learners for greater mastery on the different competencies, pwede po rin ang balik-balikan ang mga TV-based lessons po yan na pwede nating i-share sa ating local libro portal. Okay? Now, meron pong, yan, opo, o yan. Sa part na yan, okay, ang regional office po, no, will be conducting an online training on video production for TV-based lesson as articulated by RM number, okay, Regional Memorandum number 231, Series 2020, and they are looking for, okay, teachers, no, 5 teachers in elementary, 5 in the secondary, in junior high, and then we have another 5, 5 in the senior high school, EPSS in English, Filipino, and LR. So this will be, okay, happening in August 18 to 20, 2020 through that particular platform, the meetgoogle.com. So again, I am tapping po the assistance of Sir June and also Ma'am Cherry, again, and the other EPSS, all right, to select our teachers who will be joining po this particular, okay, online training of the region as well. Okay? So Yung po sunod dyan, no, yung po nga na-advertise na natin, the central office is in need po of more than 300 TB presenters. So if our teachers are, again, no, willing to join the group, bakit po hindi? Okay? So our SDO TV lessons then will serve as supplementary materials. No? So hindi po sila, we are working in complementation po with the central office. So meron po tayong pwedeng panoorin from the central office. We can also have our locally produced materials from our division. And this will be aired by Channel 13, no? Yung pong CO, Channel 13, sa atin po ay no, CLTV 36. Okay? O, yung po kung sunod dyan, no? Ang division po natin talaga ay nagkakaproblema when it comes to the video editors. We have plenty of very good TV presenters. So again, I thank po the principals and PSDSS for scouting no, video editors in our division. But kailangan po natin na magkaroon ng sarili nating video editors. The provincial capital po will be hiring, I think, 10 video editors. But until now po, wala pa po ang mga video editors na yan. Wala pa po yung mga equipment natin for TV-based instruction. And that's the reason why for 2 weeks now, we are doing our part no, as SDO Pampanga because we have promised the field that we will be offering TV-based instruction. So marami pong salamat. Yung pong next slide natin. Marami pong salamat sa mga teachers ninyo, Sir Jonathan. Salamat po. Yung pong mga school heads natin, they have given us, okay, enough teachers to become our video editors. Marami pong salamat. So our EPSS po have at least 3 no, video editors in the respective no, learning area. Marami pong salamat, dear principals, PSDSS, no, for providing us video editors. Now, let's proceed po no, with the status of the SLMs. Sir Jonathan, the next po. Okay, printing in our division. So makikita po ninyo dyan, no, we are always po submitting readiness report at the regional office and the central office. That's what my partner po, Ma'am Arceli, made mention a while back. Gusto kong banggitin in our division, no, yung mga central office ready-to-print materials, no, sa elementary, ang nakapag-print na po ay around nasa 3,908 na po. And then, ang mga na-distribute ay 354. But in the SDO locally produced materials, nasa 14,938 with 250.72%. Pero ang mga na-distribute po ay around 15.49% pa lang sa elementary. Why? Because again, no, school opening will be by October 5. So, hindi pa po pamimigay talaga yung mga modules niya. Pamimigay po yan weekly, no, based on our modular instruction. And then, sabi po natin in the secondary, we have around 202.80%. At ang mga na-distribute po sa mga teachers, during, sa mga parents during the dry run is around 7.19%. So, more than what is expected po ay nagawa naman natin no, in the status report, the readiness report that we have submitted in the region. Dito po sa ating SLM's printing, nagkaroon po tayo ng mga critical issues. Let me just verbalize po no, the critical issues regarding this one. Okay, yung pong issue natin, number 1, na pwede nating banggitin dito, okay, yung una, we have instructed the field, okay, we have instructed po the field regarding the printing of our Key Stage 1, no, yung kinder to grade 3 materials because these are written in mother tongue. But then again, we do not have modules po, no, in kindergarten. So, ang ating po naging instruction dyan ay pwede natin kuhanin sana ang mga kindergarten modules from the central office. But then again, ang naging problema po natin ay ang mga to po ay they are not modules for learners, but they are more of teacher's guides. Another issue po ay ang mga araling panlipunan. They are not really appropriate no, to our region. And so the regional office po tried to make some adjustments. No? Nagkaroon po ng mga contextualization ng mga materials po yan. Pero ang problema lang natin ay yung pong distribution of the different field divisions ay August 10 to 14 pa lamang. And that's the reason why no, we have, through the instruction of our superintendent, no, yung ating pong mga SDO materials, ang ipiprint in the absence of the central office materials. No, po. So, yun po ang naging instruction natin verbally no, sa mismong field natin. Now, sir, next slide po. Next slide. Okay. Ito pong ating mga next slide po, no? Yan po, tama po yan, sir. So, let me just emphasize that, no, for our principals, masaya na po kayo niyan, the division will be the one to take charge of our modules for the weeks 3, 4, and 5. Okay? It's more than 102 million. Okay. Pero ito po pa po yung mga missing natin. Okay? So may mga missing po tayo na mga grade levels and also subject areas which cannot be found in our link and also in the BLR portal. So ano po ang mga yan? So in your screen po makikita natin yung science po, grades 3 and 9. For week 4 po, science grade 9 and 12. Week 5, science 1, 4, 7, 9, 10. For APAN po, we have 1 and 2, APAN 10. APAN 1, 2, 4, and 10. For MAPE, 2, 4, 6, 9, and 10. For MAPE, for week 4, 2, 4, 6, 9, and 10. For week 5, MAPE, 2, 4, 6, 9, and 10. For ESP, grades 1, 7, 8. For week 4, grades 6, 8, and 9. For week 5, grades 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9. For EPP, grade 6. And let me just remind the school heads po, wala pong ipiprint ang division natin sa mga applied subjects natin in senior high and specialized subjects. Only the core subjects po in senior high, no, ang mga ipiprint po ng ating mga division. There are no available materials as well na ipiprint ng division natin for SPED. It will be the school level po because schools po in SPED program, they are offering different transition curriculum. So kayo na po ang mag-provide ng printing of modules or activity sheets, no, for our SPED learners. So sa SSC naman po ay nabigyan natin po yan ng budget, particular for elementary but not for the secondary yet. So siguro yung issue natin dito, anong mangyayari po, no, sa mga missing CO at saka mga SDO materials. We have po materials coming from our SDO but until now, they are being prepared by our layout artists, no? So yung mga layout artists po natin, inaayos pa po yung ating mga SDO materials and once they are ready po, we can include them in the next proposal of the printing of modules. So pasalamat po akong marami sa ating SDS and to Ma'am Arcelia as well for realigning the budget for training, no, for the printing of modules. Marami pong salamat. So ito pong mga missing pa pong ito ay ang ating pong iba-budget po, no, for the next budget coming from yung pong realigned natin, mga realigned nating funds from the SDO. Okay. May mga nagtatanong po, no, regarding po what's our legal basis for the development of locally produced learning materials. Okay? Like for example, yung conversion ng mga scripts natin into video lessons, no? Ano po ba ang ating mga legal basis? I would like to answer the legal basis, no po. So let me just, ito po, yung ating memorandum po, no, of our Office of the Undersecretary for Finance, number 329, Series 2020. And yung title po niyan, the guidelines on the release and utilization of funds or subsidy, no, to the DepEd, yung mga SDOs po for the development, quality assurance, production, and delivery of locally developed learning resources. It was issued po, no, in July 10, 2020. Ano po minanggit dyan? Next slide po. Ang sabi po niya, the identified learning delivery modalities require the creation, reproduction, distribution, and use of learning resources comprising not only textbooks and teaching guides in public schools, but also learning modules in print, digital, and broadcasting formats, as well as accessible formats for persons with disabilities. So ito po yung ating legal basis, why we can procure, why we can print materials po in the SDO of our locally produced materials. Again, in respect po with the Republic Act 8293, the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines as amended by Republic Act 10372. So yun po ay isa sa ating po mga legal basis. Now another po yung ating next po Republic Act 10533. Okay? One of the key features po of K-12 program is its flexibility. The curriculum is so flexible and schools po are allowed to contextualize, indigenize, localize based on their educational and social context. So meaning to say is even po ang mga schools natin, you can produce materials in the absence of SDO materials and CO materials. You can also produce your own materials based on your educational and social context. And approval of these materials will devolve not only from the region but at the division units as well. So, ibig sabihin, kapag may nagawa po yung mga teachers natin, pwede po natin pa-approve yan sa SDO Pampanga. And if you want your materials to be part of the LR portal, then they should be quality assured by the regional office as well. Again, in-encourage po ng ating as Ma'am Ann Sevilla na importante yung basic delivery of instruction should also be in the language best understood by our learners. Kaya yung mga materials po natin, yung unang-unang pinaprint po natin, yung K-3 because they are written in mother tongue. Okay. So, may mga, Sir Jan, okay, ito po yung mga mga issues natin, mga critical issues. Ang sabi po, not to print CO Kinder modules, because these are more of teacher's guide, based on the Regional Memorandum number 222, Series 2020, and articulated during the MANCOM, on August 4, 2020. Ang sabi po dito, we can print the modules coming from San Jose City for Kinder. Kaya lang po ang naging issue natin dito, the modules in San Jose City were written po in Tagalog. And alam naman po ninyo, our mother tongue is Kapampangan. And so, Ma'am Chair is, again, requesting if it's possible for the creation of our own modules for Kinder. At pwede po yan kasi malayo pa naman po yung opening of classes. Number 2 po, yung ating mga COA PAN, modules are not really appropriate in our division. Another issue po is on plagiarism. May mga nagtanong na, pinapark po natin ang mga reproduction ng Filipino. Central Office, modules na Filipino 7, Filipino 8, at malikhaing pagsulat. Why? Because mayroon po mga issues sa plagiarism. Pero ang tanong ng iba, paano po ma'am kung na-print na? Wala po tayong magagawa kung na-print na po ang mga yan. We might as well utilize this because you have spent money for the reproduction of these materials. Okay? And then, mayroon pa po na pwede nating pagkunan ng mga materials, because again, in the regional office po issued the RM number 216, 2020, for the collaboration of the locally developed supplementary materials. So yan po ay pwede po natin kuhanin din sa kanila. So next po, number 3 agenda po is on the suggested strategies in implementing distance learning delivery modalities for SY 2020-2021. So mga reminders lang po ito. I hope you were able to read already the memorandum po issued by our Undersecretary Diosdado San Antonio. Napakahaba po nito. But let us just emphasize that as school heads, we need to read and toto po the different appendices. Ito po mga general guidelines and considerations in the different learning modalities. Napakahalaga pong basahin natin whatever your learning modality is, dapat po sumusunod tayo sa mga general guidelines. Number 2, descriptions and consideration in each DLDM, mapping of the learning resources needed for each DLDM, okay, the weekly home learning plan and individual learning monitoring plan for our learners, yung sample weekly home learning plan, individual learning monitoring plan, and the matrix of requirements for the DLDM. So, I am, emphasizing the school heads should read, mahaba pong mahaba, pero pagsyadaan po nating basahin, yung lahat po ng mga naka-attach po sa ating mismong strategies for the distance learning. Yan po. Next slide po. Next slide po, Sir Jonathan. So, in the next slide po, yun po ang lahat ng mga tinatawag nating mga distance learning, modality in our department and also in our division. So, meron po tayong mga modular distance learning na digital, at saka printed. Yung mga printed, yung mga pinaprint na po ninyo, school heads, for our learners. Pero, yung question po kanina, will all the learners, particularly the late enrollees, be given also the modules? Ang sagot ko po dyan ay hindi po lahat, yung pong printed copies. Why? Because Okay, because po, we have only allotted, okay, for the 86% of the population. Yung po pinaka-last enrollment natin as of August 6, yun po ang naging basis natin in the computation of the modules to be given, no, to the different schools. Now, what is now our recommendation for our school heads? For the late enrollees, pwede naman pong bigyan ng soft copy yung mga parents natin. Digital, sabi, modular distance learning, pwede pong i-save sa USB, sa external drive rather, no, sa DVD, sa CD, no, yung mga materials na yan, no, para po sa mga learners natin. And they can save the materials offline in their desktop, laptop, etc. And then po, ito po online distance learning, no, etc. Okay? Tignan niyo po yung sa TV video. So, ang sabi po dyan, no, self-learning materials, modules-based, SLM-based. So, yung pong atin, ganyan din po, ang central office ay ganyan din po. Pero may mga TV videos po na create, like for example, ng UP, no, now being distributed nationwide, now they are also MEDS map. So, pwede naman pong gamitin din ng mga yan. No? And also, yung mga RBI po natin, no, yung mga materials also, were called also from the modules po prepared by the central office. Follow up po. Okay, mamaya ko po sasagutin yung mga questions ninyo. Next po tayo, okay? Reminders, no? Mga reminders po, ano? Mga reminders lang bago po yan, Sir Jonathan, okay? Changes po in the distance learning delivery modality, no? Can happen, okay, any time of the school year. Ito lahat pong yan, pwede pong magbago, na at ang pagbabago po ng mga LDM ninyo, okay, are based also on the following recommendations of the central office. One, the health and physical distancing protocols and other guidelines set in the respective area. May mga areas po, no, within the country na iba ang proclamation, yeah? Mga MECQ, no, tayo po ay nasa modified, no, yung iba po talaga ay nasa enhanced community quarantine. So, availability of public transport, changes in the health status of the learners. Kung nagkasakit po ang mga bata natin, no, maaari pong mag-change tayo anytime, no, of the learning modality. And then, learners po are not really getting good assessment results, no? So, maaari po tayong mag-change ng modality. Another po, if there were reported negligence, okay, or abuses, no, particularly when our teachers, no, would visit po our children who are not able to submit reports, no, who are not getting good marks, no, in the assessment, in the formative assessments and summative assessments as well. So, maaari pong magbago yung learning modality natin being offered to our children based on those considerations. Another po, sabi natin, mahigpit na pina-follow po natin that until this time, we are not into the face-to-face modality even, no, sa mga private schools natin. No? So, ilang po ang mga posible natin, except for face-to-face, no, learning modality. We are, of course, following guidelines of the IATF and also the Office of the President. Okay? Ano po ang mga reminders natin pagdating po dyan? So, sa mga strategies, sir, yan. Ito po, no, makakapture po natin, no, sa ating pong DepEd Memorandum Number 162 Series 2020, no. This is a recommendation coming from the office of our Undersecretary for Curriculum and Instruction. Makikita po ninyo na ang preparation, it's not daily lesson plan. It's not daily lesson plan. So, bakit po hindi siya pwedeng daily lesson plan, yung recommendation natin? Sabi po natin, no? Sa recommendation po, teachers need to collaborate. In this particular sample, our teachers need to prepare the weekly home learning plan, no, for the quarter. So, collaboration po ito, lalo na kung nasa higher grades po tayo, the teachers have different subjects, no, being handled. So, pwede po silang gumawa ng, in collaboration, na sample weekly home learning plan. So, ito pong mga ginawa ng mga teachers natin, makikita natin yung content, day and time, the learning area, learning competency, the learning task for our learners, with varying activities po and strategies, and the mode of delivery. Paano i-deliver? Through email po ba yan? I-deliver po yan ba? Output, physical output sa mga designated drop points natin? O paano? So, kailangan po mapag-usapan yan. Now, ito pong sample na to, yung pong weekly home learning plan, no, should be finished and it should be communicated to the parents. Kasi ang mga parents po natin ang nag-a-assist sa mga anak po natin at the respective homes. So kailangan may hawak din na ganito yung parent natin. Diyos ko po, nag-aaral din ang ating mga magulang. Meron din silang hawak na mga weekly home learning plan as much as possible or the contents of it para po ma-assist nila yung kanilang mga anak. Okay? Again, sabi po natin, although this is a recommendation, if you are going to look into the DepEd memorandum, may dalawang sample lang po ng subjects na yan. Kasi sample lang po ito. Again, we are being reminded that we need to follow. Kasi hindi naman po na-repeal ang DepEd Order number 21 Series 2019 regarding on the time allotment of subjects. I had po my orientation for MELCs, no, of special programs na verbalize uli na naman yan. Wala pa naman pong changes when it comes to the time allotment, no, as per DepEd Order number 21, and also the loading of our teachers. Alam po natin, no, in the loading of teachers, we follow po strictly the 6 hours of actual teaching of our teachers as articulated by DepEd Memo 291, Series 2008, DepEd Memo 328, Series 2009, and DepEd Order number 8, Series 2005. So yun po ang mga guiding legal basis po natin, no, in the loading of our teachers. Kaya ito po makikita yung sample, dalawang subjects lang po ang nariyan. But, no, at matatapos po yan, no, yung Friday na sample pong ibinigay nila ay writing of journals, preparation of portfolio, reflective journal, okay, other learning area tasks for inclusive education. And at 3 o'clock, nandiyan po yung family time. Again, a DepEd memorandum, no, is lower than the DepEd order. Yan po ang palaging sinasabi ng ating SDS. So this is, no, a sort of suggestion. A suggestion for us, but again, no, we follow the previous DepEd orders on time allotment and also of loading of our teachers as well. Okay? Sige po. Sunod po tayo. Okay? Ito pong individual learning monitoring plan. Okay? Gusto ko lang pong i-clear that not all learners po, no, will have this particular individual learning monitoring plan. Ito po'y gagawin po ng ating teacher, particularly for our learners who are not meeting grade level expectations. Kaya makikita po natin dito, learner's name, grade level, the learning area, the learner's needs. Ano po yung mga gaps na nakita natin during the online instruction, during the modular instruction, TV-based instruction? Ano po yung mga competencies which are not met by our learners? And getting, no, a grade of 75 and lower than 75. So ito po ang mga pinaplot po natin ng ganito. Na? So ano po ba yung mga intervention or mga strategies provided, no, by our teachers, no, to really uplift the performance of our learners and the monitoring date and the status. So yung status po nariyan, the insignificant progress, the significant progress, and the mastery level. So makikita po natin, no, hindi po lahat, kasi napakapagod naman kay teacher kung lahat po ng mga anak niya na 45 or 40, gagawan po niya ng ganyan. Okay, so sabi natin, no, learners who are not meeting grade level computations, no, learners with plenty of gaps, no, particularly on the required knowledge, skills, and also attitudes in relation to the grade level content and standards. So sila lang po ang gagawan po natin ng mga individual learning monitoring plan. Okay, so pag-usapan po natin yung mga strategies po dyan. Nakalagay po intervention or strategies. Yung mga strategies, for example po, they are not coping, no, with the different activities. Ano pong pwede nating gawin na strategies? Nakabanggit po dyan. Is there a need to extend the time, no, in the completion of tasks for our learners? So teachers may, no, opt for that particular strategy or intervention. Another po, yung level of difficulty of the learning content or task. Ang sabi po ng mga parents natin, mahirap ang MTB, mahirap po ang mga lessons being taught in English. So again, baka hindi po makapag-catch up ang mga anak natin. What adjustments can be done at the school level by the teacher, okay, in preparing, no? Sabi po natin, mga learning tasks, okay, for the different types of learners that we have. And then providing more guided activities, probably before proceeding to the independent activities, seeking for more supervised time, no, with learning facilitator natin. It can be the teacher o kaya po, no, yung ating mga magagaling natin na mga educational experts din, no, sa community. And probably can also give also sample outputs, no, to these learners so they can at least benchmark po on the best outputs of some learners. So marami po tayong pwedeng gawin, no, para sa mga anak po natin ito. So ito po ay pwede lang natin gawin. Sabi natin, no, kapag nakita natin that as they proceed with the learning modality that they have po, no, still, okay, they are not meeting grade level expectations. So yan po ang sinasabi natin. And then our teachers need to monitor also the progress of our learners. So pag sinabi po natin yung status ng mga anak natin, like for example, they are getting 75 and below, did not meet expectations. So insignificant progress po yan. So halimbawa, tayo po ay nag-move na sa second grading, wala pa rin improvement. So again, no, what interventions and strategies, remediations that can happen, no, at the school level, crafted by the teacher, shared to our parents at home as well. So yung significant progress, nag-move po ang bata natin dun sa mga assessment results from 75, nagiging 76 to 79, no? Nagiging 80 to 85, nagiging 86 to 89, and so on. So yun po ang tinatawag nating level of mastery. So again, no, it's so crucial that our teachers need to give intervention and other remediations to our learners who are not really coping with grade level expectations. Meron pong nagtanong sa akin kanina, ang sabi po niya, ma'am, paano po yung mga hindi pumasa? Di po ba, nagkaroon na po tayo during summer ng remediation? Paano daw po ang mga estudyante na may mga bagsak? If you have to look at our DepEd Order number 8, Series 2015, binabanggit po dyan, mga conditionally promoted po ang mga anak natin yan. At dapat, sana, nakapag-remediate na before the opening of classes. So we still have time, okay, in order to help or assist these learners po, no, who have at least 1 or 2 no, failing marks. So at your end po, no, pwede nyo pong gawin yan. Kung magkakaroon po tayo ng mga learners, no, na mayroon pong isa na bagsak, no, please write the office, okay? Write the office po, our superintendent, and requesting for offering an overload, no, for this particular learners as well. Okay, so yung po ang aking pakiusap. Kung meron pa po na hindi na-address ng ating program last summer, please, okay, write the office, okay, inform the office, and then, okay, the office po will be the one to, okay, approve, no, your request, particularly our superintendent. Next slide po, Sir Jonathan. Nasa others na po ako. Malapit na po ako matapos. Sir Jonathan, yung pong others na. Okay. Thank you so much po, no, Sir Jonathan. So these are the qualifiers for the Science and Technology Engineering Program. Makikita po, no, meron na po tayong 12 in our division. And the regional memorandum po was already coordinated with our school heads through our MAMPAS. Okay po. Pero in red po, yung number 11 na po, at saka po yung number 12, Rodolfo Feliciano Memorial High School and San Vicente National High School. Again, you are being reminded, okay, to submit the necessary requirements, no, the physical facilities needed, and the specialized teachers. So, okay, you can commence po on, okay, October 5, no, for this particular program in your school. The rest po, congratulations, okay, for opening a STE program, no, for our learners. Next po, okay. Next slide po, okay. For another, there's a call for submission of original videos o pambansang awit, panunumpa sa watawat, and panalangin for possible broadcast or airing on DepEd TV and radio. So again, Sir Alin Del Pasco is requiring and requesting the field po if we have original, no? In terms of the following, please submit to the office through Ma'am Ann, and then we will also po, okay, the submission to the OUA, okay? Office of the Undersecretary for Administration. So, sunod po tayo, okay? Sir Jonathan, yung next slide po natin. O bago po yan, Sir Jonathan, balik po tayo dun sa isa. Okay, sir, okay. So, these are the other, okay, reminders po, no? Yung number 3 po natin yan, the preparation of kinder modules. So, Madam Chair Vinuan po is requesting our school heads to give us, at least po, very good writers so we can come up with kinder modules for our division. Next po, nabanggit ko na po yung mga cancellation kapag hindi pa po kayo nakapag-print ng mga modules for Filipino 7, 8 at malikhaing pagsulat of the CO. Please, okay, print po our materials in our SDO. Next po, no, reminder po to our layout artists, you have seen po the missing, okay, materials, SDO materials, and SDO materials po in our division. We are calling, no, Ma'am, okay, so Rodolfo Feliciano po, no, Rodolfo Feliciano Memorial po ay nakapagsaminadan. Good job po, Ma'am Paz. Okay, So, reminders po sa lahat ng ating mga SDO layout artists, please try to hasten po, okay, the layouting of our materials so we can finish the proposal prior to the opening of classes. Yun po aking habi. Kasi konti lang talaga po ang ating mga pagigiting na mga layout artists. And I also thank the LR, particularly kay Ma'am Ruby, Dr. Ruby Jimenez, and the two layout artists po, si Sir Froilan and Sir Roylan, in trying to remove the unnecessary pages for the modules. Kaya yung pera po natin ay umabot. Imbes na isang week lang po, umabot po siya ng 3 weeks. Okay? So thank you, Sir Roylan, Sir Froilan, the LR team, led by Ma'am Ruby, Ma'am Elaine, and also Ma'am Analea. Okay. On Thursday, magkakaroon po tayo ng 2000 Division Virtual Gawad for Journalism. Okay, so through Google Meet ata ito, no, Sir June, at 9 o'clock in the morning for the elementary and in the afternoon for the secondary. So we thank po all our SPAs, the outputs po of our SPAs now, which were submitted in the regional and also in the national level for winning for our division. Marami pong salamat and congratulations to our SPAs and also to our school heads. Okay? Finally, nasa finally na po ako. Regarding po the distribution of modules, gusto ko lang pong banggitin that our LR supervisor po in the person of Ma'am Ruby prepared already the distribution list. Okay, the equitable distribution of the materials at the different districts po. And kayo na po ang kukuha nun ng mga materials natin, no, prior ibibigay po yan before the end of the month, this August po. Okay? So, meron na po kayong mga materials for weeks 3, 4, and 5. And finally po, ako po ay nasa last slide na. Last slide. Okay? Let me just emphasize, we did not choose this pandemic path. It chose us. But our walking by the Spirit in facing this pandemic as one nation, undaunted and triumphant, will stand among the greatest stories ever told. So, keep the faith po, our dear school heads, our school leaders. Okay, we can conquer the unsurmountable challenges ahead of us. Good luck po, and thank you so much for listening. And thank you so much, Sir Jonathan, for helping me in this presentation. Marami pong salamat.
Okay, thank you so much po, Ma'am Celia Lacanlale, our CID chief po. Ayan, thank you so much po for that thorough discussion and presentation of the STO CID updates po. Next po, of course, let's have with us our newly ASTS po. Ito, lagi ko po sinasabi sa kanya na she's fresh looking and her smile gives so much radiance po sa lahat po ng mga tao. Nakita po ng kanyang team. So, huwag na po natin patagalin pa. Please welcome our new Assistant Schools Division Superintendent from the Division of Tarlac Province, now here at SDO Pampanga, Dr. Melissa S. Sanchez.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy afternoon to everyone. Magandang hapon po sa lahat. So, ang task namin this afternoon is to say hello to everyone because it will be the first time that we will be joining the management committee meeting of SDO Pampanga. And having heard our chiefs, our School Governance and Operations Division Chief and CID Chief report, so it's very, it brings us hope that really, even if we have opened the school year in August 24, ready ang SDO Pampanga. Pero ngayon, syempre, it has been moved to October 5, so hindi lang basta ready, kundi talagang ready na tayo come the opening of the school year. So, as part of the new family of the SDO Pampanga, ano po ba ang nangyari na within the times that we have been with SDO Pampanga? So ngayon po, yung assignment po namin ni Ma'am Shirley is actually by the sector. So I am in charge of the DepEd Pampanga West and South sector. So kaway-kaway po sa mga West and South sector na ating group. And we have already made a group chat so that we can easily connect with our school heads as well as our public schools district supervisors, and na kalulungkot lang na we cannot see each other face to face, but we are seeing each other virtually. But at least we still have a platform so that we can continue to collaborate and engage with one another. So first, nagkaroon din po tayo ng grupo with the learning delivery modalities naman na module 1 group, no? So we have already had an engagement kahit papano sa 11 PSDSS, no? But by virtue of the group chat, we are already in connection with the Pampanga West and South sector. So for the specific assignments that has been assigned to me, the first that I have worked on is on the HRM PSB. So natapos na po natin yung initial process po sa selection recruitment ng ating administrative officer 2 positions. So we had 296 applicants out of the 110 administrative officer 2 positions that we have opened. So we have just recently concluded our online evaluation and online assessment, as well as the online interview. So I wish to thank, of course, the members of the HRM PSB that has made this successful in line and in collaboration with our division ITO unit na siya pong tumulong sa amin in all the online processes and coming up with the first ever online assessment tool now that we have set for this process. And just very recently then, ongoing na po yung finalization natin for the rank list, especially for our teacher applicants. As mentioned by our SGOD chief earlier, we had conducted already the computer-based EPT. So pending the results, ilalabas na po yung ating rank list for our teachers, no? And as instructed by our schools division superintendent, Dr. Zania Mostoles, as soon as we finalize this for elementary by municipality and then for secondary by learning area, we are going to furnish a copy to the municipalities involved so that they may also be informed, no, of the final list that we have for all our qualified applicants, especially our qualified teacher applicants. So at the onset, yan po muna yung mga pinagkakaabalahan natin, no, as ASDS. And of course, along with the other assignments, including that of the yung mga cases po, no? But awaiting the reconstitution of the membership of the investigating committees, and at the same time, under the division research committees, so divided din po ang ating assignment according to sector. And we share that with my co-ASDS, Dr. Shirley Zipagan. So a pleasant afternoon, everyone. So sabi nga ni Ma'am Sel kanina, hindi natin pinili ang COVID-19, no? It has chosen us, but in looking at the path, no, we don't have to see new landscapes, but we just have to change our views. So it depends on how we see things, and we hope that amidst all of this, we see it in a positive way. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
Thank you so much po to our very dynamic and beautiful and fresh Dr. Melissa Sanchez for those updates po. Ayan naman, syempre, ang kanyang partner din, equally beautiful and competent. Syempre, walang iba kundi si Dr. Shirley Zipagan. Let's welcome her, the Assistant Schools Division Superintendent. She's from the Division City of San Fernando and now reporting at SDO Pampanga.
Yes, magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Good afternoon, everyone. Handa ng bukas ng mga mukha ng ating mga kasama, no? Hindi natin alam kung handang-handa sa August 24 or dahil na-extend ng October 5 ang first day natin. At any rate, my respect to our superintendent, Dr. Zenia Mostoles, and ating sa kasama ko po, kapartner ko, si Ma'am Dr. Melissa Sanchez, no? Ang ASDS din po natin. Also sa ating chief, no, Ma'am Zelia and Ma'am Arcely, nakaagapay namin sa pagtaguyod ng ating curriculum at ng ating operations amid the pandemic that we have, no? And sa ating mga SDSS, school heads na nakikinig sa atin, magandang hapon po. Sabi nga ni Ma'am Melissa kanina, nandito kami hindi para magbigay, no, ng karampatang report dahil kami po ay unang-unang appearance, no? Ito ang unang-unang appearance namin dito sa ating division MANCOM, no? Kami po ay nagagalak na naging parte kami ng isang malaking division na napakatatag, no? At napakagaling ng kanyang mga chiefs, and from top to bottom and bottom to top talagang piling-pili sila at talagang dekalidad ang trabaho ng Division of Pampanga. So we are very blessed and fortunate na nakasama kami ni Ma'am Melissa dito sa ating SDO Pampanga. And katulad ng sinabi ni Ma'am Melissa kanina, ang sa akin naman po, kung sa kanya ang west at saka ang, ano yung sa'yo ma'am? West at saka south. Akin naman po ang mga natitirang direksyon sa globo, no? Ang north at saka ang east sectors, no? Kung saan meet ko na rin sila through Google Meet noong August 5. Nagkaroon po kami ng kumustahan ng ating mga district supervisor. And naging masaya po ang kumustahan namin. Talagang natuwa kami that they are very active, no? And they are very involved in terms of the preparations that we do, no? Opening of classes. No? Sabi nga natin, hindi lang tayo handa, handang-handa tayo. Regardless of the complete modules cascaded from the central office, tayo ay ready sa mga localized and contextualized modules natin. No? So, karagdagan ko, yung sinabi ni Ma'am Melissa kanina, totoo po na nagmarathon tayo, no? Sa pangunguna ni Ma'am Mel, nagmarathon tayo. First time, yung ating delivery sa new normal natin ng online na interview, conduct of interview, among other activities involving the HRMPs. No? So we are very glad to inform you na natapos natin yon, no? And we are on the finalization of results and the deliberation as well, no? So maliban po doon, ano pa yung mga naatas sa amin na aming paunang mga trabaho na nagawa na. Katulad po, ngayon tayo po ay naatasan na maging back chair, kaya meron po tayong natapos na mga pre-procurement, katulad po ng ating mga SLMs, ng ating mga mental health and psychosocial modules under the DRR allocated fund. At saka po, nag-push na po tayo, nag-proceed na po tayo sa ating infra or repair, kung saan meron tayong 84 projects or lots. At sa ating after ng pre-procurement, iimbitahan po natin sa pre-bid at sa ating opening of bids na magiging online na rin ang ating mga end user or yung mga school heads ng ating mga respective projects, no? Ang ating infra po ay nagkakahalaga ng 233 million lahat-lahat po sa 84 projects na ibinigay po or ibinaba ng ating central office. And then sa atin naman pong first and second tranche ng pondo na ibinigay para sa ating SLMs, binigyan po tayo sa first tranche ng 11,344,279 pesos. At sa pangalawang tranche, binigyan po tayo ng 91,567,625 pesos, no? 567,625 pesos. So sa mga halagang iyon, makakapag-produce na po tayo ng 3 hanggang 4 na linggo. Nung umpisa, 1 hanggang 2 linggo lang ang kinaya ng pera natin dahil meron tayong 330,000+ na mga estudyante. So dahil sa tulong po ng ating CID chief at team, no, ng CID kasama ng SGOD, pinagtulong-tulungan nating mabigyan ng karampatang pag-aanalisa yung mga modules at tinanggal natin yung mga hindi na kailangan, kaya nakatipid tayo ng konti at naumabot hanggang 3 linggo yung pera natin. No? So para sa kaalaman po ng nakararami. So ang ating in-undergo na sa printing natin ay ang ating 3rd week, 4th week, and 5th week sa ating first quarter. Ganon din po, another task na nabigay po sa akin, yung tinatawag nating mga request for isolation facility. As of now po, meron tayong mga schools na nagre-request ng extension para sa mga paaralan na gamitin ng ating mga municipals o municipalities na maging isolation or quarantine centers. So meron po tayong sinusunod na mga templates na ibinigay under OM 2020-003 na mga templates na maaari nating itulong sa ating municipalities para mapabilis ang pagpoproseso ng mga request natin dun sa ating mga isolation facilities. Pero kung sakasakali po na meron tayong magagamit na iba pang mga lugar, sana naman po may spare yung mga eskwelahan natin. Kung meron pa po tayong alternatibong mga lugar na pwedeng gamitin. No? Kung wala po, maaari natin tulungan ang municipalities natin para sa pagproseso ng mabilisan sa mga papel para ma-approve po ng ating region. Another thing po, kapag po katulad ng sinabi ng SGOD chief natin kanina, oras na naumpisahan ng maging isang isolation facility ang ating paaralan, unang isa sa alang-alang natin is the safety, no, of our teachers, parents, and learners alike. So, hindi na po maaaring pumasok ang ating mga teachers sa mga paaralang iyon. So, kailangan po na magkaroon tayo ng intervention and initiative to come up with a compromise with the local government as to having a place for us to continue, no, the required task in the preparation for the opening of classes. So next po, kasama din po ako ni Ma'am Melissa, no, ng ating ASDS as co-chair ng HRM-PSB. Another, naatasan din po tayo na maging chair ng ating disposal committee. No? Kaya yung mga concerns natin, pwede rin nating ibahagi para mabigyan po ng mga kasagutan. No? May mga nagtatanong kasi yung mga properties and mga buildings for demolition. No? So you can coordinate with us since we are having a constant and religious interfacing po with the functional units. And meron din po kami kanya-kanyang mga assignment ni Ma'am Mel as regards the harmonized research agenda, no? So mag-uusap po kami ng ASDS ng West at ng South, no? Para po mabigyan natin ng kaukulang oras, no? Yung mga research na binigay po or ibinaba ng regional office na mga agenda na pwede nating maging platform or pwede nating maging kumbaga mga tinatawag nating mga problem, no? Or mga issues na gamitin para sa ating mga research studies or action. Another po is kami rin po ni Ma'am Melissa ay nasa praise din. Siya po ang chair natin at ako po ang co-chair, no? And we are having constant interfacing sa ating SGOD at sa ating CID team, no? So ano pa ang ating nakalimutan so far? Wala na po siguro tayong nakalimutan kasi sabi nga natin, those are the initial reports na ginawa po namin sa nakaraang 2 o 3 linggo namin ni Ma'am Melissa. At natutuwa po kami sa mga kasamahan namin dito sa Division of Pampanga. Halos hindi man po kami nag-adjust ni Ma'am Melissa dahil napaka-warm ng accommodation, ng acceptance po nila sa amin. So again, no, maraming salamat po. And sabi natin, we continue to have a mindset of positivity because no, we will be able to endure everything and surpass all the struggles and challenges if we journey as a team and if we work together. So again, maraming salamat po at magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
There you have her po, ang ating pinakabagong ASBS po, Dr. Shirley D. Zipagan. So maraming salamat po sa napakagandang pagbabahagi po ninyo ng mga announcements po. And kayo po ni Dr. Melissa ay kahit bago pa lamang po ay napakarami na po nagawa para sa division ng Pampanga. And of course, saving the best for the last, syempre ibinibigay na natin ang virtual platform na ito sa ating ina ng SPO Pampanga. Walang iba kundi ang ating Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Zenia G. Mostoles. Palakpakan po natin siya.
School heads of public and private schools, good afternoon. Kumusta na po kayo? We really have to meet, even through this platform only, kahit virtually. We have to discuss so many important concerns. And as our chiefs and assistant superintendents have started, let me just have some reiteration here for everybody. Okay, first, our opening of classes is reset to October 5, 2020. And because of this, we have to do some adjustments. So we are happy because we already have made ample preparations for August 24. However, because of the extension of the opening of classes in October, we still can do more to prepare our schools. So, because we will be proceeding with our regular classes on October 5 yet, we can still prepare for more activities. So, October 5, before October 5, schools should be able to do more proactive and preventive or corrective measures for the successful opening of classes. By organizing, of course, a school task force for the opening of classes. This task force should be there to address, of course, immediate concerns, to monitor, and to troubleshoot if in case we need to troubleshoot some concerns. The said task force should be chaired, of course, by our school head, to be assisted by the members. And you should have also your secretariat. Please submit to the SDO, care of our SGOD division, your task force together with their corresponding contact numbers. That should be on or before September 15, 2020, in preparation, of course, for October 5. Next, because we will be opening on October 5, as usual, we also have to prepare for a welcome program for our students. There should be a simultaneous welcome program in all schools that should include welcome messages of your deputy officials and your local executives. So welcome back to schools, although virtually, we still need to welcome our students back to school. So the program should be started simultaneously by 8 a.m. on October 5. And because October 5 also is our supposedly celebration of the World Teachers Day, by 10 a.m. in that same day, there should be a simultaneous ringing of our bell for the teacher's prayer in relation to the World Teachers Day. So again, let us do it simultaneously. And in the afternoon of October 5, we shall also have a simultaneous virtual debriefing of students using the mental health psychosocial support modules, which will run for 1 hour video presentation care of our division health unit. So again, this should be a simultaneous debriefing, virtual debriefing of our students. Okay, next concern. Let me reiterate important concerns for our dry runs conducted by our schools. Of course, we still have enough time to do the dry runs, considering that the opening of classes is yet on October 5. However, we really have to adhere to the IATF health protocols so that schools should avoid the presence of the crowd during dry runs, and always strictly implement the health safety protocols. As much as possible, limit face-to-face transactions with teachers and other stakeholders. Again, even if it had been said a while ago, let me reiterate that your documentation should always consider IATF policies. Don't require regular presence of teachers in schools. It should only be according to your needs. Kung kailan lang ninyo sila kailangan, dapat tsaka lang sila nandyan. However, if they can do it at home, then let them do it at home. Report observations and challenges met. And submit proposals to address such problems if ever there are problems. The next concern, again, let me reiterate our compliance to the data privacy law. It should be applied by considering unnecessary posting of student and personal information, including COVID-related personal data. Refrain discussing about COVID-infected personnel in your chat boxes. Okay. And as of now, we already have our new Assistant Schools Division Superintendents. We are so happy to have with us, of course, ASDSS, Dr. Melissa Sanchez and Dr. Shirley Sipagan. The two assistant superintendents shall assist your superintendent on general division leadership, division management, division supervision, and division administration. Both of them shall help oversee the SGOD, the CID, and the OSDS concerns from kindergarten to grade 12. For other matters, please direct your concerns to your school's division superintendent. And lastly, school heads and officials of both public and private basic education institutions. We play a very vital role in our new normal education system. Let us provide the right direction for the concerted efforts of our teachers and staff. And as we continue service delivery, we have to give premium to the health and safety of our people. Not only physically, but of course, also mentally. So, depending on your context, on your specific needs, please limit physical presence of teachers and staff in schools. Maximize work from home and provide immediate feedback to your school's division office for appropriate action. For more queries, continue keeping in touch. Thank you for being with us today. Good afternoon, everybody. Take care.
Okay, thank you so much po sa ating thoughtful na schools division superintendent. I really like her message po na talagang motherly po ang kanyang mga paalala para sa atin. Muli, yan po ay updates and mga paalala reminders po ng ating STS, Dr. Zenia G. Mostoles. And there it goes, the end of our division, MANCOM, Division MANCOM, this August 17, time check po. We're on time, we're right on time, 4:05 in the afternoon. And before we end po, I would like to share a Bible verse from Philippians 4:6-7. In nothing be anxious, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and let the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your thoughts in Christ Jesus. I know this is a challenging season for all of us, but always keep on praying po, especially continue to pray for our world, our country, our family. And let us also pray for our education frontliners. Ang bawat isa po sa atin ay mga education frontliners po who are in the first defense for the holistic learning of our youth amid this pandemic. So be happy, be healthy, and alive po, okay? Stay safe, and dito sa DepEd, sama-sama sa pagsulong ng edukalidad, addressing the challenges of quality in basic education. So muli, maraming salamat po sa ating mga participants, and mabuhay po tayong lahat. Stay safe. Bye-bye po.
Abi, alis na tayo. Ito pa, oh. Okay na.